What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies, movie news, video games, comic books, all sorts of fun stuff like that. We had a pretty big shakeup here in the, well, not necessarily we, but I guess kind of the world had a pretty big shakeup with the Warner Brothers announcing that all their films for 2021 are going to be coming on HBO Max and theaters at the same time, but there's a little bit more to it, but we're going to get into that. Also, the first reviews, this just dropped a little bit ago. The first reviews of Wonder Woman are here. We've got some other stuff planned. We're going to do our Mandalorian Season 2, what was it, Episode 6, I believe? The Tragedy. We're going to do our spoiler review of that at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. We will obviously give you a warning. I'm sure we like to do it, this show goes live on Monday, so when we do it, most of the people out there have probably already seen it, so it's one of the reasons I like actually doing those at the end of the show anyway, too, because everybody's seen it by then, so I feel okay talking spoilers. But joining me today is none other than Rik Metz himself. How you doing today, Rik?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Dude, doing good, man. Like I said, we got a lot of big news to talk about. And we got a John Knight here to assist with that. How you doing, John?
I'm good, man. You guys doing well?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good as we can be, for
Quite
sure.
well.
Exciting week.
Yeah.
There's
Not
been
not a lot of news stories, but big news stories.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like we could probably spend the whole show talking about the ifs and ands and the what's about just the HBO stuff itself. In all honesty,
Yeah.
there's a lot. There could be a lot of ramifications of that, but I'm looking.
Mando keeps rolling along.
Oh yeah.
That show-
It's chugging
That show
along.
has not let off the accelerator since what, episode 2, 3?
Frog Lady.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. I did honestly too. Like Rick was asking me on stream the other day, like what did he say? Like what was my favorite director or favorite episode? One or two or both. And I couldn't even think off the top. Like I'd have to go back and watch them all because like I haven't disliked anything really. Like there hasn't been anything like. But there've been some, like, I honestly didn't really care for episode 2.
No.
Like, I thought it was just kind of like, it wasn't bad though. Like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I was just like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I could have done without it. It felt a lot like a Monster of the Week kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like, that a lot
exactly.
of shows do. But not that it was a bad thing, but at least there was a little bit of carryover because the Frog Lady did have something to do in the next episode, I guess. So it wasn't completely thrown away by any means, but
Very true.
yeah. But we'll get into the Mandalorian stuff at the end of the show. But let's get into our first main topic here today. And our first main topic is the Wonder Woman reviews. We have some Wonder Woman reviews come out. And none of these are obviously, the movie doesn't come out to the end of this month, but there was a press junket or a press screening, a virtual junket is what they're calling it here. So I wonder if they just did like a watch party kind of thing for it all or something. I wonder how they actually got this thing going. But a lot of news sites were able to actually watch the film, and they were allowed to tweet out their initial first thoughts of the film. So we're just gonna go over a couple of these, and I'm getting these from Superhero Hype. So if anyone wants to go look at more of them, but I'm just gonna read a couple loud, and then we can just discuss what our thoughts are on this guy. So that, we got Brandon Davis from comic book Bravest Bandis.
Danvis, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Sorry, Brandon, the most easy 2 names in the world. I missed that somehow. I've seen Wonder Woman 84. Patty Jenkins literally made an 80s movie in every way, making it so unique for today. It feels both bigger than the first Wonder Woman, while simultaneously more contained.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I'm curious about like an 80s movie in every way. Like what constitutes as like an 80s movie in every way?
Breakfast Club. I don't know.
It's just a bunch of scenes from old 80s movies put together with Wonder Woman.
What else do we got here? Wonder Woman is that rare sequel that avoids being rehashed, making huge, bold swings. Both Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins never. What is the sentence? Movie never gave.
The movie never gave
into cynicism, is what you were trying to say there. No offense. It's just hard to read, and we love them for it. It takes them a while to get going, but once it does, I feel like that's a good way of saying the first act, or a nice way of saying the first act was slow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like shampoo or something though. Fresh.
Max
Exhilarating.
Heavy. Mac is a I don't from I don't know. Doesn't say. I don't know where you work, buddy. But there you go. That was you get your tweet read on the show. Jim Vejvoda from IGN. I saw Wonder Woman 84 yesterday. It was a lot of fun and has a very heartwarming and hopeful message that, frankly, we really need this year.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't know what would be. I'm trying to speculate what the heartwarming message could really even be with. I mean, granted,
Be a good person.
I mean, we never even know. We don't even know what the overall plot is. Like,
No.
because we
There's
know
a
Maxwell
cheetah.
Lord.
Other than Cheetah and Maxwell Lord.
Yeah,
right?
and it shows Maxwell Lord doing something to make. I don't know if it's like an actual, because he has the line in the trailer that says like, I'll make your dreams come true or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just like a sales pitch or if that's literally what he's. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it seems kind of
Yeah.
like an odd power, quote unquote, to have. Like I don't know what
Yeah.
sort of like, just weird. If that's just like he's a genie. Is that what he found?
Yeah.
Will Smith gonna pop out of a lamp? Like is that what's gonna happen? Huge news. Wonder Woman 84 is fantastic. The story is excellent. It has a great timely message. It packs in a ton of surprises, and amazing work is done with both Cheetah and Max Lord. Wig and Pascal are both stellar. Get hyped because it's the real deal. Okay, he's pretty hyped about right.
Real
I
deal.
mean, I feel like the excitement for this movie, while obviously somewhat muted because of the pandemic, and it didn't carry the momentum into the summer the way normal big blockbusters do. I feel like the hype is got to be pretty high as they are going to get it, because it's coming to HBO Max, and anybody that wants to see it all they have to do is go pay the $14.99 for 1 month of HBO Max, and they can see it. And I feel like I feel like huge news is kind of an understatement for this movie. I feel like it's people are pretty excited about it. I expect it to be pretty good. Maybe
Oh,
maybe I'm
okay.
misreading the
Yeah.
room. I don't know.
Everyone seems to be, at least all of the ones that we went through on here so far, are all been positive. There's
Do you think they're going to
Positive,
show
yeah.
the negatives though?
do what?
Do you think they're really going to show the negatives though? Maybe more towards
Oh,
like
sure.
the
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, if someone didn't like it, I feel like they would say it. Like,
yeah.
like, or they have
and
nothing to
and
lose.
and ultimately there will be someone, because that one will get highlighted, and anybody that compiles, reviews, they'll highlight the negative one. They'll be like, well, yeah, these were all great, but there is this one that said this.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like usually, if like a studio isn't confident in the movie or they know it's going to be bad, they won't allow. Like they'll have an
Yeah.
embargo. Like so, and they'll hold it as if not to a day before. Like sometimes there've been, I think for what was it? I think what was that Vin Diesel movie he was just in, the superhero one? I think they held that Bloodshot, yeah. I think they
Bloodshot,
held
yeah.
that embargo until the day it was released. And like whenever a studio is like withholding review, like if they hold a review embargo until the day it comes out, that's a bad sign.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't
Yeah.
want like the word to come out that is bad. Like,
Yo, man,
Those-
this movie
usually.
sucks.
What's even worse, and I think, was it Fantastic Four that this happened with, where the latest Fantastic Four, where they didn't even screen it for advanced reviews. Like people that did reviews weren't even able to see it until it had
Oh,
already
yeah.
gotten into the theater. So you weren't even seeing reviews until the Saturday after it had been out. So
Yeah, that's the worst sign right there. When they
Yeah.
when they don't even give like press screenings.
yeah,
That's
not just embargoing them, but just
Yeah.
flat out
Yeah.
refusing.
Yeah, it's like we're not gonna do it. It's like, okay, that's almost like a review in it of itself. Like you don't need to know any more
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because like if you guys don't have confidence, why should we? Why should we pay?
Yeah.
We'll read like one more of these. What we see? Let's do. We're almost through. Let's just read the second to last one. You win. Yesterday, I saw Wonder Woman 84 at home, and it was everything I needed and more. The movie is hugely ambitious, incredibly exciting, and full of much needed hope. It's also very long, to a fault at times. See, I think that's a nice way of saying slow again, though. Just saying. But mostly it reminded me of how wonderful a big blockbuster can make you feel. Oh, okay. So I think this is good though. It's like
One thing I'm surprised
I'll
is I'm
post it.
assuming that all of these reviewers were, like you said, it's a virtual thing. I'm surprised that nobody mentioned any detractions from losing the theater experience, because I'm guessing
True.
that none of these people saw it in the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
what
wouldn't think
Maybe
so.
it says.
maybe their
Virtual.
full reviews, yeah, maybe their full reviews have more details, and maybe that we're obviously just getting snippets, but um, I'm just a little surprised because of
Aw.
the unique way it's being released.
Look at the first says Wonder Woman 84 held virtual junket screenings for a select group of press. Most appear to be genre websites like, but not including this one. So they weren't invited.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Sad. Yeah.
Like, but you
By the
still,
way, Warner Brothers, if you want to send us screener copies of anything, we'll be happy to post reviews of them.
yeah, so you can just send everything to honestanduneducated@gmail.com, of course. So there it is. There, if you need it spelled out, it's right there on the screen.
Right on the screen.
Honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Send them all that way. That's it.
Anything.
Yeah, anything. Just not unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah, none of that.
We
We
went
went
over
over
that
that.
with stream. Like,
Yeah.
we've seen enough. All right, we've seen enough. All right.
You're telling me.
But I don't know. Overall, like obviously, like these aren't like spoiler reviews. So like I don't know. I still would like to know. I don't know. Part of me would kind of like to know more about what the movie actually is about. I feel like I got a good idea about the first one just from the trailers, but this one has been this like kind of. There's so many unanswered. Like Chris Pine coming back is weird. Then, like I said,
Sure.
Pedro's line is weird because even like I said, even if it is a power, what does that other than a genie? It just doesn't make sense to me. And Maxwell
Okay.
Lord is just a dude. He doesn't have
Yeah.
powers. So like I don't know. I would like to know. A part of me would like to know, but then part of me is like I don't know. I don't like to know everything. So
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
just
it's fine.
wait and see.
Right.
Maxwell Lord does have some supernatural powers or some super abilities, so just don't go into it assuming that he's just a human. You'll be left going, what? Why? How did that happen? So
Does he always though?
let me just prep you for it. I'm just trying to prep you. Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty well. I mean, it's been pretty standard in the comics for about 20 years that he
Is it?
has.
I always
Yeah.
just thought he was a dude.
He was when he initially came out, but then they, as time went on, they felt the need to
They
make
made him more than a
interesting.
man.
They make it more
More.
interesting. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had some hidden powers that hadn't previously been revealed. So,
I guess you kind of have to when you're like set up and against. You already have Lex Luthor going around. How many
Yeah.
like normal bad businessmen can you have, right?
True.
yeah,
But you guys got any other thought? I'm generally like I'm glad that there weren't negative ones, honestly. Like I'm, and here's the thing too. Like I said, there's like two of them on there that make me think that it's just a nice way of saying it's slow.
Yeah.
But part of me is like kind of fine with that because I'm happy to spend more time with Wonder Woman.
I bet you
personally,
are.
I'm good with that. And like this is a year where we had 0 Marvel movie comes out. Comes out.
Comes out.
None comes out. We had 0 Marvel movies this year. And not that like we need those, but like there's been like no movies really. I haven't even like
no superhero, no
like,
genre movies, no superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all we've
across the
had was
board.
Bloodshot.
Ooh.
Like so we've had no superhero movies, like I
Oh,
said.
that's right. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I am like we're gonna talk about the whole Warner Brothers HBO Max thing, but in the end, like especially just during these trying times right now,
Unprecedented.
is unprecedented times right now. I'm happy that I get to watch it on HBO Max. Honestly, and like I said, I got that new TV, so
Yeah,
pretty excited for it.
works out well.
But yeah, I would much rather like to have seen it in the theaters, but at the same time. Oh yeah, I forgot too. Tenet's coming out in like a week or something.
Oh, yeah.
Week, yeah.
Yeah,
We
so I
talked
get to
about that, yeah.
finally watch that. Should on my new TV. It'd be pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that. You guys got anything else you want to add though? I'm generally excited about this, and I'm happy the reviews were good though.
Yeah, I've got my ticket to not opening night because it's Christmas Day, but I've got my ticket to the following day, and I'm
You're
going to
going?
gauge things. Yeah, I'm gonna gauge things. I'm gonna once we get closer, if COVID seems to be kind of held in check, if we start seeing the downtrend, or if I feel like the theater is too crowded, I might back out the last minute. But as of right now, It's like me and one other person in the theater. So
It's not
it's a
bad.
nice thing about advanced ticket sales. You can kind of gauge what the attendance is going to be. And I can always get a refund up until the day of. So we'll see. But I'm real excited for it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about being able to having reserved seating anymore, just so you can just
Oh
like
yeah,
pop in and look and see. Especially like right now,
sure.
it's like more
Yeah,
so than ever. You can just like, oh, I kind of want to go to the movie, but let me see how many people are there. Cool, nobody. I'll
Yeah.
go. Like so,
You
yeah,
can
that is
look it
definitely
up
nice.
and-
So
yeah. It may be a situation where I like that the night I'm supposed to go. I may look at it and go, I don't know. That's a pretty packed house. I don't want to really risk it. And then look and just see the first show the next morning. Is it sold? Are there seats available? Is it pretty sparse? And then if it is, go that day. So we'll
right.
see.
Which has always been odd too, because it is on Christmas Day, obviously, and it's really weird that that's like the busiest day of the theater industry.
I've always thought that was
Sure.
strange.
And
Yeah.
it's so odd. I don't think I've ever
Really?
been to a theater on Christmas.
Man, when I was a kid, I mean, like when I was a teenager back in the day, we used to we do our family stuff, but about 5, 6 o'clock at night, you'd been doing stuff all the previous day for Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day, and got that itch to get out of the house and go hang out with your friends. And so we'd usually go see something Christmas night.
I don't know. I haven't done it. Maybe I need to. Maybe I have when I was a kid. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know recently I haven't been to a movie on Christmas. It's been a long time, but I don't think there's been anything that's came out on Christmas that's made me want to go.
True.
Yeah.
Like if Star Wars would have came out on Christmas Day, I probably would have went. But they were coming out.
It was
like,
close.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I don't know, but the question is, guys, what do you guys think about all these generally positive reviews coming out? So, like I said, I'm happy to hear that they're generally positive, and the news, or not news, but the kind of indication that's a little bit slower doesn't really bother me, because being a big superhero fan, myself, like I'm kind of just like perfectly fine to spend as much time as possible in those movie worlds. So as long as it's not like boring, which is pretty much what I don't know. The biggest failure of any movie is to be boring. So as long as it's not boring, then I'm perfectly fine with spending 3 hours watching, Wonder Woman or Batman anytime. But what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next main topic here today is the big topic. So everybody's been talking about Warner Brothers blindsided in a lot of ways. I don't think this was arranged in any way. They literally blindsided the whole theater industry here, where they announced that in the year 2021 they're going to be releasing all of their movies both in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. Now there is one little caveat with that, is that it's only going to be available on HBO Max for 30 or 31 days, whichever. It's one of the two, like 30 days. It's going to be available on HBO Max for 30 days. Then it's going to go back and continue only being in theaters for the rest of the theatrical window, which kind of odd. So it's going to spend 30 days in the theater and on HBO Max, and then it's only going to be in the theater. Then after that, it's going to go to VOD or what have you. So it's pretty much going to be the normal theatrical window, except the first month it's also going to be available simultaneously on HBO Max. So initially that news came out essentially just with Wonder Woman. On December 25th, it's going to be coming out on HBO Max and in theaters. But I mean, as it stands right now, most, if not most of the theaters probably around the world right now, pretty much, a lot of them are closed. So it kind of made sense for them to release Wonder Woman on Christmas Day, or just on HBO Max on Christmas Day, just to finally get it out there, right? But this was a big move, which, I mean, I gotta say, for we've been talking about it a lot here on the show in general, and with these streaming services coming in, they're like Disney first started doing it, with they had the Mulan test, which I mean it was for all intents and purposes a disaster. Them charging the extra fee for it did not work out well for them, but they've since moved to. I mean, they released their Artemis Fowl movie, skipping theaters altogether. I mean, no one watched it on Disney Plus anyway. It's apparently really bad. I haven't even watched it, and I have Disney Plus. So there you go. But then they're also following that up with releasing Soul straight to Disney Plus as well. And we went over it. What was it, last week or a couple weeks ago? Where I mean, sooner rather than later, this is what's going to happen. Like in all honesty, movie theaters, I think it's safe to say this is definitely not helping anything. I think this could very well be, if not the final nail in the coffin, but it could definitely be like Warner Brothers is preparing the coffin.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. They're
getting it ready.
yeah, they cut the tree down for it. All right, and
The wood's already been cut. Maybe.
yeah, maybe, I don't know, but that's what this is kind of like. It to me, this is the first step in feeders going bye-bye, becoming in the way, just like Laserdisc went away, just like vinyl went away,
8-tracks.
CDs went away. You can still get them.
Vinyl's back. Vinyl's back.
Yeah, vinyl's hip.
Yeah, but that's not, vinyl's cheap to make. That's the thing. Vinyl's cheaper to make than CDs are to make. You know what I mean? Vinyl's not expensive to manufacture. So a little bit different, but for the first time, I think it was last year. It was recently, the vinyl outsold CDs.
Yeah.
Like,
That makes sense.
who's buying CDs? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's doing everything digitally anymore. Hence, the theater industry. And here's the thing: this obviously, for the most part, is negative. You could see it being a lot of negatives. I'm going to hit you with some things, John, because I know you're probably, out of all of us, the biggest movie theater goer. We probably watch the same amount of movies, yeah. But as far as the theaters, like, I've stopped going to the theater for pretty much anything but like the big movies. Those are the ones that really I like seeing those in the theaters, you know. But you know, for things like otherwise, like, I don't know, I've never been one to need to see an independent film or something in theater, even though those are the ones you should support more in all reality. I don't know. It's not what I like to make the trip for.
Yeah, I'll go see a comedy in the theater. I'll go see a drama.
Yeah, I'll see comedy.
Like, I'm not. I like the experience overall. It's not, obviously, I love the big action stuff because the giant picture, the bigger sound, whatever, all that just, it feels bigger for those big action set movies. But I just like the experience, the immersion that I get from being in a theater. So yeah, I'm not picky about what I'll go see.
Right.
You really do get like immersed into it. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing too, and it's like the shared experience with it. Because, like, I don't know, the biggest example I like using, at least as far as like the movie theater going experience, is like when you're watching Endgame. It's different when you're just like, imagine seeing the scene where Cap gets Mjolnir, and like you sitting on your couch, you're like, oh wow, that's great, and maybe you'll laugh out loud, maybe you'll smile out loud. But when you're in the theater, you and 100 other people are just going ape shit. Exactly. Like,
he's got it.
There it is. But like, yeah, when that scene happens, the theater erupts. So you're like, and that's the shared experience, you know.
Yeah.
Elsewise, you're not getting, like, it's fine to watch it, you know, at home. Like, I still enjoy it, but you don't get like. I think that's why I prefer going for the big ones, because like you get more. It's more of a collaborative thing. You know what I mean? It's like being in a room with like I mean, we're humans and we like being around like-minded individuals, right? Everyone's like, you know, so it's like everyone's there experiencing it together. It's a good time. Like, it's like a big party, you know?
Like, to me, it's always like when you watch those like European soccer teams and everybody's in the pub, like packed in there, and somebody scores a goal and everybody's just like, yeah. That's kind of the same sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly that. Here's the thing though. What if this happens? I think it's safe to say a lot of theaters will suffer from this going forward, because it's no surprise, like, all of the studios, they want to just release the stuff on like their movies on their own platform, because the movie theaters are essentially a middleman to them. Like, you know, like, so obviously it's more.
It's a distribution channel. I mean, that's what it is. They're a bar for beer. I mean, you know, beer gets served in a bar. It's just a distribution channel.
Mm-hmm.
The product is the beer. The product is the movies.
Exactly.
Same for, you know, pops and drinks in restaurants. They're just, like you said, they're just the middleman. But
right.
Sorry, I cut off your point there.
No, you're good. Like, because that's what I'm saying. Like, so the theaters have always wanted, because before they weren't able to, like, studios weren't allowed to have their own like theaters because the Paramount decrees were in place. So those are gone now. But as far as the movie theaters go in that industry anymore, they're not financially like successful in a lot of ways. So, like they work on a very small deficit. So as it stands right now, like the theaters make all their money from like popcorn sales and stuff like that. They really don't get that much money off the ticket sales or anything like that. That for the most part, 70% plus of that goes back to the movie. The I can't talk right now. The studios anyway.
Sure.
So you being a moviegoer, though, I want to present you with something. Because obviously, like, my big point there is, like, we went over this with, a week or two ago. Like, Disney is, like, on the road to making with just Disney Plus, like, alone, like, a $7 billion profit a year without putting a single movie in theaters. Literally just looking at revenue from Disney Plus, they're going to be making $7 billion in profit. Like, and it's the same with, like, and that's why HBO Max, because I think it was Netflix. They spent like they made like $27 billion, I believe, but then they had to end up spending like 14 or 15, around 15 billion they have to spend on licensed material. So like getting your friend's show and all that stuff. They have to spend money to get that stuff. HBO Max, Disney Plus, they're going to be focusing on releasing their own stuff they own. So they're going to have zero licensing costs.
Yeah.
So consider like Netflix or like Disney, they're able to make $27 billion in 1 year, but Netflix would have to pay $15 billion to license the material. Disney, HBO, they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
They put their own stuff out there. They get all the money. That's why they obviously they want to just direct to consumer, put all their stuff there because they'll make a ton more money just with their streaming service. They can get more subscribers. That's guaranteed money. They put a movie out in the theaters. It's always a gamble. They don't know how much money they're going to make when it comes down to it. Like some movies, obviously, they know are going to make more than others, but you never know. It's a gamble. So that's obviously why they want to do it. So it's really no surprise. It's just like I said, it's going to be like the whole CD industry and all that. Just eventually it's going to die in some ways, but maybe it'll still be around. Hopefully they stay around. If they do stay around, do you think, I think some positives about this could be like, now you're going to have the people going to the theaters are going to be people who like that experience. They're going to so you're not going to have the guy on his cell phone or the gal on her cell phone. You're not going to have the people talking and yammering and being annoying throughout the whole movie. Like you're going to have all the people who actually want to be there and enjoy that movie going experience, because obviously anyone who's like making it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Anyone who's causing this, being a distraction or something, being just not there for the movie, they're not going to go. Because they could just stay at home and watch it. Yeah. At this point.
Yeah, I tell you, I agree with that to an extent, but like my biggest example, it's a terrible movie to I don't know to bring up, but so the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. I still remember going to see that opening night. So it's a big DC superhero movie. There was lots of marketing all over the place. Plus it's Ryan Reynolds, who was pretty big at that point. I think he had either was on the verge of or just been named People's Sexiest Man or something. So, he's obviously popping off. And I still remember sitting in that theater and there was a guy who was with a bunch of friends, clearly didn't give a shit about superheroes, and spent the whole movie every 5 minutes pulling out his phone, looking up stuff on his phone or checking his text or whatever. He was there for that social part of it that we just talked about too. So you still will have that to a certain degree, I think, but you're right. Hopefully most people that go to the theater, it'll be less of that, because most people will be there for the experience.
Mm-hmm. The guy sounds like an asshole.
Yeah, right. I had a similar experience when we went to see Joker. There's a group of people just like being loud, just yelling throughout the entire thing, like cracking jokes about something that would happen, but like literally talking at a voice decibel that like they're talking this loud. Like I was 8 rows back from them and I could hear them as clear as y'all can hear me right now. Yeah. And it's just like, 1, your jokes aren't good. 2, shut up, dude. Like there's like 100 people in here. We don't want to hear. I didn't pay to hear your conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like shut up. Like, so I think that's a positive. Because I think like the overwhelming majority of people who like want to do that, they're the kind of people who don't care about the movie. They're not going to go pay to go sit in the movie. They're the kind of people who are going to be like, let's just watch it. It's right here. Yeah. Another thing is too, and this is what I think could be the most beneficial, where if this becomes a normal thing, because HBO made a claim that like this is just a part of like their 1 year plan, and it's not like it's a line of BS because this is obviously what they all want to do this. Like, but
If
they
this is successful, there's no way
yeah
they don't continue.
Yeah.
yeah there's just money talks. So if like there's no way, but they say this is going to be a 1 year kind of thing or whatever, right? But if so, and even if it's not a like 1 year thing, what I think another positive is that first positive was kind of for us to viewer. What I think is like I said, kind of like I don't know, like 5 minutes ago, not 5 minutes ago, a couple seconds ago. The theaters make like zero money essentially. A fraction of I don't know. Let's say three out of $10, even though it's maybe 1 out of $10. I don't know, maybe 1% of the ticket sales go to the actual theater. It kind of varies per movie, depends on the deal they have. So it just depends. But they don't make a lot of money in the ticket sales, right? What if the new thing going forward is if they're no longer going to have their theatrical window? What if the studios take less money from the ticket sales so that the theaters can have more of that money?
True.
You know what I mean? Because they're going to have less people going into the theaters. Because if this happens, so I think a positive could be if they're no longer going to have the theatrical window for like to secure revenue for the theater industry. I think the studios and the theaters should renegotiate the just the price of the tickets and how much goes back to the studio and how much goes to the theaters. Because if the theaters can at least make more money per ticket, it's going to compensate for them getting less foot traffic in a lot of ways. And it'll also avoid if they're getting less foot traffic, the already price gouge popcorn you're going to be eating will probably go up somehow. I don't know how it could go up, but $10 for a bag of popcorn is a bit much, but that's what you got to pay when you go to the theater. So it's hard to imagine them saying, well, it's going to be 15 now, because then people they'll just stop going altogether.
I was gonna say, could you imagine that? Like $15.
It's already and every time I go and I have to buy it, I'm already annoyed because I have spent $10 on it.
Nowadays, though, they've got like refillable popcorn, which is nice. But with the COVID stuff, I don't know.
It's still $10 for it, and it's like, how much are you actually gonna eat?
Covered with the imitation butter.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Me, right? I eat popcorn every single day.
Rob loves his
popcorn every day. Like, I eat popcorn. I don't just eat popcorn at the movie theater. There's people out there that's all. Nah, dude. You eat popcorn every single day of your life. You'll be a lot happier. They got all sorts of flavors. You got chocolate. You got you get the salt, the sweet. Just eat popcorn. It's good for you. But yeah, I think that'd be positive. I think that could be beneficial. That's what they should do. In a perfect world, the theater should get more money for the ticket sales if this is how it's going to be, if they want to remain in business. Because if they outright don't and can't negotiate that, then I don't know. It's just it's pretty much the final nail in the coffin, not building the box at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I'm shocked to see WB move this direction right now. I would have bet money that they would have waited to evaluate how Wonder Woman performed. If Wonder Woman drove significant numbers of subscriptions to their service, if Wonder Woman viewership numbers were astronomical, I could see them making this call. But to do it without that data in hand, now maybe the preliminary data, maybe all the market research is showing that Wonder Woman is going to be the most watched thing on Christmas Day, or it's showing that maybe they already have seen an increase in subscriptions with the Wonder Woman announcement. Maybe there was a direct correlation, like subscriptions went up 200% in the week following the announcement of Wonder Woman. So maybe they do have some of that empirical data that they're basing this move off of. I just thought, if I had guessed when they would make this move, I would have thought it would have come after they had already done it. Much like Disney did with Mulan. I mean, Disney clearly tried something with Mulan. By all indications, it doesn't seem to have worked, and Disney has backed away from that. And you see them releasing Soul in a different way now. So I'm really shocked to see this. I think it's going to work out just fine. We'll get into the other aspect of it as far as the theaters in a minute, I think. But I think as far as people just have a choice. It's just one more choice. Yes, theaters right now make, you hear the giant box office numbers of movies making $1 billion and movies having, $200 million opening weekends. And yeah, that revenue will get eaten into some, but that revenue will be made up elsewhere, either in subscriptions or whatever else. And you might not have a megaplex with 15 screens. You might have a theater that has 10 screens, 5 screens, whatever. But I just don't see this being a death knell for theaters.
I'll tell you why that they're doing it. It's kind of genius. This is what I think. We talked about before. People a lot of people nowadays they'll stream service hop, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna unsub from Disney Plus when Mandalorian's over, right? Kind of thing. Then they'll pick it back up when WandaVision comes out or whatever. But Warner Brothers releasing their entire slate. Why are you gonna unsubscribe?
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. I mean,
Every
Yeah,
month
you-
you're gonna have a new movie
content.
coming out.
Yeah.
There's no point if you're interested in it. Like, you gotta think like Wonder
And if
Woman,
you-
then Dune, then Matrix 4, then the Suicide Squad, then whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, why?
And if you've
unsubscribe?
got it, if you're already paying for it and you're paying for it just for that one movie, but it's right there on your streaming device, hey, maybe you'll start checking out one of their original programs, or maybe you'll start checking out an old TV show that you always wanted to watch, or maybe you'll rewatch something. And then you just kind of get hooked on it. You just get in the habit of, when you go to sit down to look for something to watch, you pop on HBO Max first and just start browsing around. So yeah, I definitely think it's a brilliant move on their part, as far as a way to get themselves into that market and create a space for themselves in a market that's already been established and they were late to the game and getting into.
Yeah, because right now they're sitting at around half the subs of Disney Plus, which they're just trailing. I don't know, maybe like a third of the way there to Netflix at this point. So they HBO Max still behind the ball, even though in technical terms they've been around the longest. Like, because it's still just HBO, but it's just rebranded.
So Rick, you, as far as I know, you like going to the theater occasionally, but you're not as diehard as me about it. So
yeah,
does this do anything for you? Are you, because you're not currently subscribed to HBO Max, are you?
no, I'm subscribed to Disney Plus, but
Okay.
So are you gonna unsub after Mandalorian?
Well, it depends on what comes out. I mean, we'd have all kinds of other stuff.
You've got WandaVision in January, so
Well, Mandalorian spinoffs even, or I don't know, we'll see.
true.
It's not very expensive, but I don't know. I
Right
kind of
now.
like the experience. Honestly, it sounds bad of like being able to sit on my own couch and make food or whatever it is, have people over, and just kind of watch it. And if there's a part you want to go back and rewatch, you can rewind it or whatever. And I don't know. I don't mind movie theaters, but even before the COVID thing, can't even say what like the last time I was at one was. It's just not something I commonly do. So.
Okay, so this is targeted towards someone like you, but does Warner Brothers let's put it, does Warner Brothers lineup entice you to sign up for the service? I mean, is this something? Is this as big a news to kind of the layperson, not the avid moviegoer like me? Is this a big enough news for you that you were like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to jump in and try it?
I'd have to take another look at the Warner Brothers lineup.
Let me hit you with this. Theoretically speaking, we know Wonder Woman is coming out Christmas Day. So let's say if January, these dates aren't correct, but these are movies that are coming out in 2021. Matrix 4, Suicide Squad, Dune. What else do we got? Well, there's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I mean, and
if they release those once every month,
I think that sounds good. I mean, that's
Would that
pretty
make
major for what, $15 a month?
Yeah.
I mean,
a movie.
Oh, yeah.
A month, a movie ticket a month, really.
That's what I'm saying. But you're getting to see way more movies.
And
you're getting to see, for someone like you, you're getting to see it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, I don't like going outside. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, sign me up.
This might help you a little bit, Rick. Here we got.
Okay.
January.
Space Jam. Elvis.
Godzilla vs. Kong, which we know you're a big kaiju guy. New Space Jam movie.
That's sign me up.
Like,
Elvis
honestly,
is like an Elvis movie coming out.
yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, it
I'm
looks pretty good.
surprised they have these coming back to back.
Yeah. Judas and the Black Messiah.
And Sherlock Holmes 3.
Yeah. I mean, I think that looks good for what, $15 a month?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking, what is that, 30?
I mean, to be
180
fair,
180 bucks for the year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Tom
you're
and
not
Jerry.
looking at realistically, there's nothing I would honestly want to sign up for, at least as far as this is concerned, until Kong and Godzilla versus Kong. But then after that,
You got all kinds of
you
stuff.
pretty much got me. Like I'm fine with like the Conjuring movies, and like see, with me, a lot of points it's just like it's a laziness. Like I don't want to go through the effort of unsubscribing if I know
Yeah.
I'm just gonna end up resubscribing. So it's like, do I want to put in the effort?
It's not expensive enough to like make that big of a difference.
Right. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
kind of depends. And like to what you were saying before, Rick, Disney Plus is cheap right now. But like I said, they're able to make $7 billion in profits with one show, Mandalorian. That's pretty much it. Like
Definitely.
they literally made all the profits with just that, and with only charging $6 or $7 a month or whatever. So they're gonna raise it to 10 so they can get $10 billion in profit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a more competitive price, really. Because right now, yeah, sure, they're making profits and everything, but just like you said, if $15 isn't very expensive for you to get HBO, then 10 isn't going to be too much for them to raise their prices for and get
Still be
a
subscribed.
little bit more money. Yeah, exactly. No one's going to care. You got to think too. Disney Plus is going to be popping off soon. Can you imagine? Like they were able to make these much profits and everything with just Mandalorian. Like for the most part, that's the only reason people. The biggest reason I'll say, the biggest draw they had was Mandalorian. Like 'cause that was there right on launch, essentially, right? But soon they're gonna have all these Marvel shows, like, and then they're gonna have the spin-offs of Mandalorian. So like they're gonna be in a very similar position even without releasing their entire movie slate, because they're putting a lot of like money and time into actually developing original content that people actually like want to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not that like HBO isn't, because speaking of original content on HBO Max, I just watched Raised by Wolves, by the way.
Yep.
Because dude, it's really good. You guys,
Is it?
if you're into weird sci-fi shit, all right, then
Yeah.
yes, you're gonna love it. Because if you
Okay.
liked Alien and like, I don't know, just that kind of thing, and like the android stuff in Alien, I guess, you know, and just like weird. Just it's weird. It's a weird good show. It's really good. Go watch it. I binged it. Like I got it done like quick.
A
Like,
weird good show.
it's really good and weird because you have like no context. I had zero context going into it. What made me want to watch it was I knew Ridley Scott produced it and directed the first episode, and I saw someone say that there was like an alien tie-in or something, or like Easter egg or something.
It's in the
it,
same
which
universe
there's
or whatever.
Not. So don't get worried that it's a spoil. It's not. The creator of the show and like confirmed it's not actually a part of the alien universe. So I'm not spoiling anything unless you consider disproving something to be a spoiler. It's not a spoiler, okay? It's not. But the creator did say it's like a close cousin. It could be considered to be like a close cousin to the alien universe or whatever, because it was developed with Ridley Scott. So I mean,
Yeah.
I mean the androids bleed white, okay, just like they did in Alien. So I don't fault anybody. And then like as it goes on, the stuff you see, like I don't know. It almost makes me feel like one day if they really wanted to, they could connect it because there's enough similarities. But I
Yeah.
don't know, if you're into that kind of stuff, you'll love Raised by Wolves. Like it's really good. Imagine like I'll give you a quick pitch for it just so you guys are on the same page. If I haven't sold you yet, what the humanity is like kind of like dying off everywhere. They're trying to populate other planets, but one of the reasons that humanity is kind of is like dead is there was like a war between atheists and this like religious zealot group. It's not like Christianity, but because they have their own like different god called Soul. So it's like this made up Christian thing, and then you have androids, and it's like I don't know. If you're into weird shit like that, go watch the show. It's really good.
Yeah.
So that's my pitch. a terrible pitch, but it's good. Go watch it. As far as this HBO stuff goes, though, dude, I don't know. I'm excited for it in a lot of ways, and I'm worried for the movie industry at the same time. As a consumer, like unselfishly, as long as I'm getting like, I guess selfishly, like I know because it's all these are unprecedented times for everybody, and like you don't want the theater industry to die. I like going to the movie theater and things like that, but as long as like you're getting good content, that's really what I care about. As far as the method in which I'm getting it,
Yeah.
like it doesn't really matter to me in a lot of ways as long as the content's good. Because my biggest fear for all of this is like just getting subpar content because they're just gonna put it on their streaming service. Like like a lot of things like back remember like direct to DVD movies.
Yeah.
Same kind of concept with like a lot of times when a movie just bypasses theaters and goes straight to a streaming service, you're left to assume that it was bad. Like it's not very
That's
good.
generally the idea of it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody assumes that it's just like some, I don't know, like a tainted thing. Like I don't know, but that's my biggest fear. So as long as that's not going to be the case, then
that used to be an indicator of the monetary value associated with it. You could make, hundreds of millions of dollars by having a film run theatrically versus, what, half a fraction, a quarter of that, by doing a direct to video release. So, you're able to double dip with the theater experience. You're able to release it, in the theater and make that money there, and then also release it on home video later. At least that's been kind of the formula for the past. And
mhm.
now it's streaming services, but that's been the formula for the past, what, 2, 3 decades. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a shift, but I think that monetary value, and now that the monetary value is shifted over to the streaming side, I don't think you have to worry necessarily. I think the problem now is going to be, I think the competition between the streaming services is going to ensure that the quality remains somewhat high at least.
Yeah, well, as long as they're getting, that's what kind of made me stop thinking that way is once you realize just how profitable like Netflix and Disney Plus and like these things have the potential of being, there's really no excuse for them to put out piss poor content.
Yeah.
Like I think it
You don't
was if I'm
you don't
getting
want to give you don't want to give people an excuse to quit. You don't
exactly
want to
all
give
right.
them, yeah.
It's because I think uh, what was it? I think Disney last year. Um, because like I said, they made like $7 billion or projection to make $7 billion in profits from Disney Plus by itself. And I think last year, all of Disney parks, merchandising, everything involving like studio, everything, movies, all of Disney made 11 billion. They made 7 just with Disney Plus. So it's
Yeah.
like Disney Plus by itself at a cheap $6-7 a month fee with one show was able to almost generate just as much profit as all of Disney last
Yeah.
year. So it's like they don't really have an excuse. Once you hear the numbers and see the numbers, it's like, yeah, there's no surprise that they just want to focus on their streaming service.
Yeah.
It's they see how much money they make for it, and that's like what you were just saying. Why would you give anybody an excuse to want to quit just by putting out piss poor content? So once you see and like I don't know, it's just like there's no excuse for them to do it. Once they make that much money, they don't need the movie to go make $1 billion at the box office for them to justify spending 200 million on it if they know they're gonna make 7 billion or more just by making good stuff and making people subscribe to their damn streaming service.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's move in. This is kind of we're going to consider that its own topic to some degree, but going along with that, initially first, let us know what you guys think about just HBO Max releasing. Let us know if we missed anything. But we've been going on this one for about a half hour, so I want to move on to the next one because it's kind of connected to it. So let us know what you guys think about HBO Max releasing, or not HBO Max, but Warner Brothers releasing all of their content on to HBO Max during the year 2021. And do you think it's going to have a BS line of them saying it's only a 1-year plan, or do you think they're obviously just wanting to go full swing in their streaming service, just like Disney announced they're going to? So let us know in the comment section below. Now, the second one here is AMC's chairman, Adam Black, I think is his name, Adam Aaron rather, Adam Black. Who's Adam Black? I know an Adam Black. Either way, AMC came out and said AMC is obviously not very happy about it. And I think this is kind of ironic. I'm going to read the quote because, like, it is really like he sounds mad. All right, he sounds mad. But I think it's kind of ironic because it was AMC who just made the deal with Universal to shorten the theatrical window. Like, they made the deal. Like, they already, the blood was in the water. Like, they put this into motion, in my opinion. Like, I don't feel Warner Brothers or any other studio would feel the need to do this in like the kind of blindsided way that they did if these kind of, like, I don't know, things weren't already in motion. You know what I mean? I feel like the blood was already in the water because of AMC. So it's kind of, I don't know, the irony that AMC is coming out to complain about this is kind of just, I don't know, should really be falling on deaf ears in a lot of ways. But so they came out and said that these coronavirus impacted times are, he should have just said unprecedented. Come on, he knows these are unprecedented times. And they're charted waters for all of us, which is why AMC signed on to an HBO Max exception to customary practices for one film only, Wonder Woman 1984, being released by Warner Brothers at Christmas when the pandemic appears that it will be at its height. However, Warner now hopes to do this for all of their 2021 theatrical movies, despite the likelihood that the vaccine's right around the corner and the theater business is expected to recover. Clearly, Warner Media intends to sacrifice a considerable portion of the profitability of its movie studio division and that of its production partners and filmmakers to subsidize its HBO Max startup. As for AMC, we will do all in our power to ensure that Warner Brothers does not do so at our expense. We will aggressively pursue economic terms that pressure our business. Like I said, he seems a little mad.
Yeah.
He seems a little mad. And like I said, then why'd you make the deal with Universal to shorten the theatrical window in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. And they're saying they've already, this is the last part of the quote. Let's read the rest of it. We have already commenced an immediate and urgent dialogue with the leadership of Warner on this subject. As this issue gets sorted out, we are nonetheless encouraged that the vaccines protecting society in a large against the coronavirus are very much at hand. So it is our expectation that moviegoers soon will be able to once again to delight in becoming into coming to our theaters without any worry, viewing the world's best movies safely in our big seats with our big sound on our big screens. So, yeah, obviously he seemed a little bit mad, but there's not a really big sales pitch there by any means.
No,
because if even everything he's saying, it's like you still don't know if what you're saying is even going to be possible. Like, you don't know if the vaccines are coming around the corner. You don't know how many people are going to be able to get the vaccines.
Optimistic way of looking at it, but
yeah, sure. It's like, because Adam Aaron, I hate to break it to you, but everybody's been saying that for the past year. Like, it's not a new thing to say. And again, I just think this is a little bit ridiculous of all the people. If Cinemark or Regal or someone else would have came out and been complaining, fine. It's like, but they're the ones who like went behind every other studio's every other studio's back and every other theater chain's back and made the deal with Universal. So like, what are y'all complaining about?
Yeah,
like,
really.
You know what I mean? What do you guys think about the AMC whining? I mean, that's the best way I could put it. Like, I know it sucks and it's a shitty situation for the theaters, and like, I don't know. For all intents and purposes, though, it ain't show friends; it's show business, right?
Yeah.
Like it's trying to make money. The theater's trying to make money. Warner Brothers trying to make money, because it's like the theaters in a lot of ways are kind of forgetting here. But like, yeah, movies they've had to close their theaters, but like they do know that the studios haven't been able to put their movies out and make that money that they're complaining about not making themselves, right? Like the studios are at a loss right now too. Like, but the studios have a way to make money. Not everybody should suffer. Like, so I mean, I find it kind of like selfish in a lot of ways. In all honesty, you can look at it being selfish in both ways, I guess. But at the same time, if there's a solution for one company, they shouldn't just go with the sinking ship. It's kind of fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but like, what do you guys think?
I think it's a lot of whining.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. All right, so here's the thing. I think somebody needs to sit down with Double A over there and have a real conversation with them about the way the world works and how things, they don't have the means of production. They are the distributor for these items.
Yeah, they're
So
the middleman.
if they can't figure out a way to make their theaters and their experience the most enticing way to view these things, then that's kind of on them. Now, I realize that's kind of harsh and it's pretty uncaring. I know it comes off as uncaring for the theater business and all the people that work in the theater business. Um, I think a lot of movie theaters do it very well, but I also think this idea that it's like CD companies, and it's like big retailers like Best Buy and other companies that relied on a lot of um, sales of CDs and DVDs and stuff. When streaming started to become a thing, yeah, it would have been nice if they would have been able to force the studios to continue providing their stuff to them only and not send it out streaming. But that isn't a reality of the way the world works now. And that's not a reality of the way a lot of people want to consume their stuff. So
Yeah.
um it's on the theaters to figure out how to compete in the world the way it is now. And that's unfortunate, and it may mean that they have to scale back their business and their business model isn't as big as it once was. But that's true for a lot of people. When there's growth in one area, it usually comes at the expense of another area. So I feel bad for them. Obviously we've just got done talking about how much I love the theater experience. I don't want to see theaters go away, but we live in a capitalist society, and this is the way capitalism works.
Yeah.
If there's a method out there that people like, and people find a way to take advantage of that, that's the. So I don't know. I think all these veiled threats that he's making about we're gonna find the best financial. It's like, you know what, buddy, you're gonna if you take this stance, if you take this approach of trying to play hardball with the theater or the production companies and the distributor, the movie theater. What am I trying to say?
The
With
people
the
who have
movie
the
companies.
content they need to survive.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you start trying to play hardball with them, and you don't find a way to actually work
Right in the hand that feeds.
nicely with them, yeah. If you don't find a way to work with them and try and do what's best for your employer, your shareholders, you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of this, where your competitors are probably going to end up figuring out a way to make it work and
Yeah.
and continue business as they'd like to. So
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't know.
thing. Like I was just saying with the numbers. You see the studios are seeing that, like, unfortunately they don't need the theaters anymore to make billions of dollars a year. Like, unfortunately, like, that's just the way it is. Do we lose
Yep.
John, or are you frozen? John,
Am
say
I
something.
frozen?
Yeah, you're good.
Am I frozen?
You should unfreeze though. I can hear you. You've
Okay.
been unfreezing at least by itself. So we'll see if you unfreeze in
Yeah.
a minute. But yeah, I think like you said, the theaters need to make, what is it, like, adapt or die? Is that the saying, or like evolve or die? One of those. I think it's adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something like that.
But like in like AMC, of all the theater chains, like AMC is my favorite theater chain to go to. So like,
Is it?
yeah, I'm not dogging on AMC, but I just think that the comments are stupid in a lot of ways, because kind of like you said, it's like, don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Exactly.
you're gonna like make veiled threats and things that, like, you need the studios more than they need you, and they know
yeah.
that now. They have their own means of distribution, and like they don't need to put it in theaters right now to make billions of dollars. You should be doing more to, I don't know, not come off as dickish.
Yeah.
If
It's a good way to
well,
put
I
it.
mean, and here's the reality of the situation. What leverage does the theater have? A theater's leverage is, I don't show your movie. So let's say AMC decides, you know what, we're not going to show Warner Brothers movies in our theaters because we don't like the way that they're handling the distribution. Well,
Another
if
good
Warner
choice.
Brothers if Warner Brothers just makes a ton of money and Disney and Paramount and Universal all look over at Warner Brothers and say, well, crap, they're making, their earnings reports are, 2 times what ours are, and they're doing everything streaming. They're going to start copying that model, and AMC will just lost all of their product.
Drive
So
themselves into the ground.
Exactly.
exactly.
I don't know. I don't know what more they could do because, like I said, AMC, like just before the pandemic hit, they've spent, I forget what the number, like $5 billion or something, remodeling all their theaters, putting like the recliner seats and everything, putting in as many Dolby Atmos like speaker systems, laser projection, all this. Like they were doing everything in their power to make their theaters, in like most places, in most of their chains anyway, the best theater going experience you possibly could have. Like they were, and then they also had the AMC A List, the subscription plan, so you can see 3 movies a week for for $20 a month. It's a great deal. Like, and it's awesome. They have the dine-in theaters. Like, this is all why they were my favorite chain to go to. It's the best experience, at least around me, that I've had.
Yeah.
So like I like going to have the recliner. Like it's all good.
And those are all things that they're smart, inventive ways to make their theater enticing for people to come, instead of just relying on the fact that, well, you can only see the movie here.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, I don't know what more they could do, because like that's all good. I like his thing is now, if they go to learn, if we're now finding out obviously that a lot of people like Rik like the idea of being able to stay at home and do their thing, right? So they need to figure out more ways to make that even more, bring that into the theater. Like they need to find more ways to do it, because
let me bring my dog in.
Right. Well, I think they like the dine-in ones, I feel, give the closest experience to that, but like maybe take it a step further and have like a lot of theaters have been doing now, like they've been renting out the whole rooms to people, and like during the pandemic and everything, so you can just rent out the entire theater. You can bring in game consoles, you can play your own movie, play a movie that they're allowed to be playing right now, whatever you want to do, like doing things like that. But maybe like, I don't know, maybe not have the big 100-seat theaters anymore. Maybe have smaller ones that people could just come and do like similar things with. I don't know. Like
give them other streams of revenue.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the one who owns AMC or any theater chain that needs to figure it out. But like, if like that's what the consumer is striving for, is like more control, more freedom, then try to design more ways to do that. Like.
Well, and the one you talked about it, so they've gotten better about this with some of these subscription services, and 3 movies for $20 a month, which is great. But most people, I think their impression, this is something the theaters need to work on, is it's going to cost a family of 4, what, $80 after food and everything, to go see a 2-hour movie. And when you hold that cost up between tickets and food and concessions and stuff, when you hold that cost plus the time to get to the theater, pack everybody in the car, get home, all that, when you add in all the factors versus the convenience and the cheaper cost of streaming, it's understandable why people don't want to deal with all that. So they need to start looking at, is the premium that their experience cost worth it? Can they justify, a family, let's say a family of 4 goes to a movie every week. That's $80 for like, what, 4 movies would be 8 hours of content roughly. Is that worth the same cost as a family of 4 going to an amusement park for a day, which is also 8 hours of content, but they have multiple different things they get to. When you start, comparing different experiences, entertainment experiences together, movies kind of come up on the high side of things, and I think that a lot of families feel that. So
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Like that's the thing. Like that's one of the main reasons that I think I probably stop going a lot of the time, because it's like if I take me and the kids, I got paid for 5 tickets.
yeah,
Then if we all get food, it's like it quickly going to see one movie turns into a $150 venture, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, if I could just pop it on my 77-inch TV I just got for the price of one ticket, Why would I not do that? It's 10 times
Yeah.
cheaper. Like,
Sure.
you know, and I have a lot more freedom. Like, I can get whatever food I want. I know the food's gonna be good. That's another thing that, like, that's a different thing.
Not
But
if you're
yeah, I
cooking
don't
it.
know.
but
Do what?
Nothing. I said not if you're cooking it, but
I just made you a lavash bread pizza. and
it
you
was
praised it.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I suggested he make his own restaurant
exactly. That's right.
pizza.
And my food is great, dude, and it's good for you. That's the point. That's important.
Yeah.
Fills you up, low calories, low calorie dense foods. All right. Shout out to Greg Doucette. Shout out to Greg Doucette. But yeah, they just need to think of ways to, because that's the thing too. When you compare it to other things that people can do with their time, like the movie theater, in a lot of ways, is cheap. For as you start to increase the numbers of people going, like I said, 5. If I'm looking at buying 5 tickets, 5 things of food, not economically, not fiscally responsible in a lot of ways. It's, what I mean? Like, especially for most, anyone not in the 1%, like, especially if you like to go see multiple movies, like, at a time. Like, that's why I think, the last final thought I have, and we'll wrap it up with the A-list thing. It always bothered me because, like, even if I got it for, like, me and my wife, for instance, I couldn't use my, like, if I have 3 movies a week, I can't, like, use one of my 3 movies with a guest. Like, they have to buy their own ticket.
Yeah.
So even if I wasn't going to go use them, and like, that's one way they can make that better right there. Just say you get 12 movies a month. Yeah, just use them for whatever. You can use it for a guest. You can use it for you. Whatever you want to do. Easy solution.
We have,
like,
I have a Cinemark, and I'm on Cinemark's plan, and they give you just credits. And so I can use those credits. If I have 4 credits banked up because I haven't gone to see a movie for 4 months, I can use all for that for me and 3 other people if I want. That's a much
That's
better.
great.
The flexibility is much better there.
Yeah, because that's what bothered me. And for like, and at first, since it was still cheaper in the end for me to spend $40 a month for me and my wife to have an A-list, as opposed to going and seeing 3 movies, it's more expensive. So it was still cheaper, but at the same time, I'm not actually seeing all 12 of those movies, so it was kind of dumb. I'm just like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was my biggest complaint with A-list. So if they change it to match more of the Cinemark plan, that's a lot better. Like, and that would entice me much more to go. Like,
and then the other thing about Cinemark is you can, like, let's say I only have 1 credit, but I want to take 2 other people. I can add additional tickets for a reduced rate. I'm not paying the full movie going. I'm paying the Cinemark, movie club price for those tickets, which is a cheaper rate, which helps too. So
yeah, that's much better. That sounds a lot better. Like, I don't know what the price is or anything, but like, that sounds good. That's what they need to do. Doing things like that, though, being more proactive, making things a little bit more inclusive. That's what they need to be doing. Not being like, I don't know, spiteful in a lot of ways. I just thought it was kind of dumb. Like, in a lot of ways, I totally understand where, like, the AMC Adam Aaron's coming from, but at the same time, like I said, the theater industry is on the sinking ship right now, more so than anything.
Yeah,
and they don't need to bring
for
everybody else down with them. Like if the studios haven't been making money this year either, like, not as much as they would have been. Like, granted, they've been able to release their stuff on there and whatever. Yeah, but
it's not the same.
It's not the same, but it's their movies. Like, they should still be able to explore any avenue they can to make money. Like, just it's not really on them that no one can go to the theater. So I don't know. It's kind of unfair. I totally get that it's unfair on both sides in a lot of ways, but like I said, not everybody needs to suffer. Like, So I don't know. What do you guys think about all this? I know that we went on for this one for quite a bit of time. So, but it's a big topic. I'm sure we could still keep going if we really wanted to, but we're going to move on here and let us know what you guys think about all this stuff down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So we are going to fly through these last 4 topics that we had prior to our Mandalorian spoiler discussion for season 2, episode 6, the tragedy. Because the last topics we had, we went on. Like I said, we went on for like 50 minutes. So we're gonna speed through these last ones. I guess luckily, in a lot of ways, there's not a whole lot to talk about on them, other than it's just some cool. There's some good news about it, a couple casting calls, and then now I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember, but we'll get to it here once I pull them up. The first one we got is Oscar Isaac himself is popping off. Like, he was just cast as Moon Knight. Now he is cast as Solid Snake in the Metal Gear movie. It's being directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts, who recently directed the Kong Skull Island movie. Not Godzilla vs. Monster, Kong Skull Island. And it was okay.
I mean,
Well,
no, I mean,
good.
Oscar Isaac just seems like too goofy of a dude to play somebody like Solid Snake. I mean, like that's
Oscar Isaac's a
I don't
fucking
know.
he's a
Oh,
great
dude.
actor, but I think of like Poe, just like, huh.
Yeah, he's not like Poe though.
No,
Like,
like Solid
yeah,
Snake's
did
like
you-
a
did
Clint
you-
Eastwood kind of character. Like,
What
Clint
was
Eastwood's like
the,
90 years old.
no, just I mean like that, like straight faced, like just straight to
Ex
the point.
Machina.
Sure. Yeah, Ex Machina. Man, that movie was good, and he was intense in that. Like,
Dude, Oscar Isaac's phenomenal, dude.
yeah.
Like he was I watched Life Itself. Not a good movie. But like, dude, he was really good in it.
Okay.
Like in the first I don't recommend watching it, but he was really good in it. There was another movie he did that I heard was really good with Christian Bale. I forget what it was called. But he's supposed to have a really good performance in that. Still haven't got around to watching it though. So I'm really excited for this because unlike Rick here, I've seen a lot of Oscar Isaac's work, and he is a perfect choice for Solid Snake in my opinion. Like, granted, I haven't played a lot of the Metal Gear games, but as far as I know, and from everything I do know and have seen, I think it's a primo choice, and he's a
Like-
great actor. So
I like that mullet, the Solid Snake mullet.
Yeah.
He's got to have the headband like over his eyebrow.
yeah,
The
right.
entire movie, basically.
I don't know if he'll have of the mullet in this, but we'll have to just wait and see. John, Rick, you guys got anything else you want to add about this? I'm just excited to see it. I'm pretty hyped. I heard the only thing I will add is I heard Jordan Vogt-Roberts he's writing and directing this, and I watched an interview with him probably like a year or so ago. He's been like working on trying to get this movie developed for like a long time, and like he's someone who knows what the franchise is. Like, he is a big fan of Metal Gear Solid. He's, it's the kind of person you want behind it in some way, you know what I mean? Because he understands the lore. He's a fan of it, which is not always a good thing, but like, I watched an interview and like this, he had a lot of passion for it. So it makes me more excited that he's involved with it, and like he was able to get the thing made, because a lot of times like we just talked about with the Predator thing, like Fox like has Shane Black making a Predator movie, then all of a sudden he's got the other guy making a Predator movie, and it's like a lot of these times there's someone out there like Jordan here who's been working on something for years, when the studio takes a pitch from someone they're friends with, and they make some shitty Resident Evil movie kind of thing, I mean, which is not what we want.
Which they were.
To it.
I said which they were.
Exactly. So I'm excited about this. What do you guys think?
I think it's cool. A cool character.
I mean, yeah, more of Oscar Isaac isn't bad. I just hope it doesn't interfere
True.
with Moon Knight. I mean, you start hearing about him taking on multiple roles at the same time. It's like,
Well, dude, I mean, that's the
That's
thing.
true.
He's gonna be soon be king of the genre of dudes, man. He was Poe Dameron. He was Apocalypse. He's Moon Knight, and now he's Snake.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's popping off, dude. Like it's good stuff, man. And like I said, I think he's a great actor. I love Oscar Isaac. So more Oscar Isaac, I'm good with it. And probably of anything though, I'm definitely looking more forward to Moon Knight. But this is good. This will be good too. This will be really good. So hopefully it's good anyway. Well, let's have to
Have you played, Rick? Have you played any of the Metal Gear games?
Yeah, I played back on like PS1, just like Metal Gear Solid, and what was that?
Did you like it?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it was kind of an interesting game. I didn't play like that much into it or anything, and I know there's a lot of other ones that came out besides that. But there was that other character from the Metal Gear games. Was it Raiden?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cyborg ninja guy. I always thought that guy was cool. Not that I'm expecting that in this or anything, but
well, Jordan was talking about him in the interview.
Oh, really?
With him.
Because that was like I forget what the Metal Gear Rising. That was that was a good game. It was fun to play, at least.
So I was late to the PlayStation party. I didn't start playing PlayStation until the PS3 came out, and mainly because I wanted a Blu-ray player. It was like the cheapest, best way to get a Blu-ray player.
I know.
But I played one of the Metal games that came out on that, and it was a good game. it was just very slow. It's
They
very
are.
much a stealth game, and so I was coming from the world of like action first person shooters and stuff, and it's a different type of game. So I had a hard time making that adjustment just because I didn't play a lot of stealth games like that. So I don't have the fondness for the series that I think some people do, but I hope they do well with it. I mean, the idea, the premise of a stealth espionage, hero of fortune type role sounds like it's custom made for the theater, so for movies. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know there's a lot. Actually, I've never played through like all of them because I think like you, the first one I actually went to play was the one on PS3, and
mhm.
from what I understand, none of them are actually like that game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's like giant robots and like
Oh, yeah.
there's cyborg like riding dude like they're like that one because if it's the same one that I was playing, you start out like in the jungle and you literally gotta like
Yeah.
crawl through shit. Yeah, that
Yep.
one is not like any of the other games. So and
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think that one of all the ones actually had a lot of like backlash and like it wasn't really like a good one supposedly.
Okay.
But because like I have friends and like there's other people out there who are just like super diehard, Metal Gear fans and like I never knew why because I played like Counter Strike and World of Warcraft for the last 15 fucking years. That's literally the only things I've really been
Yeah.
playing like consistently. And so like it I'm very simple. Like, but I do
We have
like
simple
I gotta say
tastes.
though, Demon Souls has been really fun. So just like it reawakened my Bloodborne fun because like I said, I own Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, but, like, I booted them up and, like, never felt like spending a ton of time playing them, and it was kinda the same way with these, like, I have so many people who just love them and just, praise the damn franchise, but it's just something I never just got around to, like, playing. I don't have anything against them, but I did try to play that one that you were talking about, and I did not like it, and then but then, like, I saw all these, like, clips online, people talking about there's, like, a giant like, literally, like, a giant mech thing that, like,
Yeah,
it's
those are
like
cool.
yeah, it's like so it's from what I heard with this, director fella talking about, like, he's going more with, like, the original kind of approach to it, so,
Well, I certainly hope
looking
so. If
forward
that's
to it.
what the fans are tied to, I think the one thing that we've seen from genre films in the recent past is that if you stick to what makes it work in its original idea, its original inception, that tends to translate into better better adaptations. So I
Mhm.
hope that they definitely do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We'll just have to wait and see. But the question is, guys, what do you think about Oscar Isaac being cast to play Solid Snake himself in Metal Gear? What do you think about Jordan Vought Roberts being writing and directing it? And looking at this, that's it. Just let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic here, sort of, not really in the same. I guess it's only connected because of Moon Knight in a lot of ways, and we were just talking about Oscar Isaac, but the full cast list for the Hawkeye series has came out because they recently started filming it, and there are some interesting names on there. Primarily one that I find to be the most interesting. We'll get into it in just a second. But we got Vera Farmiga joining the cast. We have yeah, what else have we got here? Haley Steinfeld like confirmed, and there was recently like some set photos and stuff of her shooting. She's playing Hawkeye's daughter. Then we got we got? Florence Pugh, who was the most interesting one because she is playing Black Widow's sister in the Black Widow movie. So we have some tie-in there. So that is let's say it for the fifth time now. That's interesting. Then we got Frafi, not familiar with. And then
Frothy.
Tony Dalton, not familiar with either. And then I this is going to be the day of butchering names.
Laqua.
Alakwa Cox. I'm not laughing at her. It just sounds like you're saying something else. It sounds like you're saying something else. Okay. And then Zahn McClarnon, who was recently in Doctor Sleep, and then he was in the show Longmire. I like him. He's cool. I'm not familiar with the other ones. The Cox, man.
Alaqua.
It sounded like you said, "I like ya Cox." Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I heard as I said it. I'm like, oh my god. So
Yeah.
I apologize. I apologize, Alakwa. Okay, I'm sorry. But again, the interesting thing about this was the connection to Black Widow, because everyone's been kind of assuming that Winter Soldier would have some like tie-ins with Black Widow, and maybe like they weren't able to release, Falcon Winter Soldier before Black Widow before Falcon Winter Soldier came out because there'd be tie-ins and all that kind of stuff. But with the addition of Florence Pugh, I mean that right away indicates there's going to be some tie-ins with Black Widow in some capacity, maybe not directly tied to the movie, but a character we're getting introduced to for the first time in Black Widow is appearing in this. So, what do you guys think? You guys excited for the Hawkeye show? You just casting got anything? I think the one that's most exciting about is probably Vera Farmiga, but
what is she from?
Lots of. She's in Base Motel. She was in Godzilla King of the Monsters most recently. I don't know. She's been
She was in Up in the Air, right, with George Clooney.
Yep, she was. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I watched it. Did you watch that movie?
Up in the Air.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a good movie.
It was good. Good.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of movie we would normally talk about on the show and everything, but it's like it's a good movie though.
It's more of a serious drama type.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was good. She's good.
Yeah.
She's great.
I'm super excited for this Hawkeye series though. Like they've some set photos came out this week, and they've got shots of Haley is Steinfeld. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
As Kate Bishop, and I'm super pumped for that. And also they have Pizza Dog, which is pulled directly from one of the best, not just best Hawkeye runs, but one of the best comic runs of the past decade.
Pizza Dog?
Those big words.
Pizza Dog. Yeah, it's just like if you want some good, like some character driven storytelling with some good, like just basic superhero guy, street level guy trying to do right by his neighborhood and just kind of always being a fuck up despite all his attempts to not be. I can't recommend Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run enough. And anyway, Kate Bishop and Pizza Dog were heavily involved in that run, and I'm hoping that this series, I'm assuming this series takes some cues from that run, so I'm super excited about it.
Yeah,
it should be really good.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Sounds interesting.
Of all the Hawkeye, or not Hawkeye, but of all the MCU shows, the Hawkeye one was the one I was least excited about. Not because
Really?
like Hawkeye's like a bad character or anything like that. It's just even with like Black Widow and honestly, in some degree, even like WandaVision, I would have never thought there would be a lot you could do with them in their own setting. Because like, if you were doing Wanda from like X-Men, because like this Wanda isn't really that Wanda, I could totally see you doing stuff. But that's like more. I've always felt like big movie stuff, but like now that we know what they're doing with WandaVision, it makes a little bit more sense how like what they're doing. But I've just never thought there'd be too much you could do. Like we're getting a She-Hulk show. Like, what are you gonna do with a She-Hulk show? I mean, they're just things that like in my mind.
Yeah,
I don't know if I needed it.
She-Hulk's a lawyer, so you get your legal drama.
I know if they go that route,
legal drama.
You wouldn't like her when she's angry.
It'd be fun if they go that route, though. Like if it is like a procedural, like a Law and Order, but with She-Hulk,
Oh yeah,
it'd be cool. I mean, there's a reason Law and Order and NCIS and all those shows lasted as long as they did.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how once She-Hulk's out, it'll be extremely interesting to see how they balance that aspect of her life with the action part of it, much in this versus how like a show like Daredevil did it. Because Daredevil also featured a lawyer, but it skewed a lot more towards the superhero aspect of it, the lawyer stuff. While it had its place, it didn't factor. It wasn't like an even 50-50 split.
Yeah, right. It was like there was like he didn't try any cases unless they had something to do with Daredevil.
Yeah. Which by the way, apparently December 1st, I mean this past week, the rights for Daredevil reverted back to Marvel instead of Netflix. So apparently there was a big online petition campaign to revive the Daredevil show, and apparently Vincent D'Onofrio, the kingpin of the Daredevil show, was lending his support to it. So I don't know that this will be a Snyder cut scenario, but I wouldn't mind seeing it come back.
Of all the things to make a comeback, I'm totally fine with that. That and honestly, dude, of all the things, at least as far as Marvel Netflix goes, if I had it my way, Charlie Cox would still be Daredevil, and John Bernthal would still be Punisher. Because that dude, they nailed that stuff. Like, granted, it was like that character that was written then, and I don't know if Kevin Feige's gonna want his Daredevil and his Punisher to
be like that.
Yeah, so like that's kind of the only caveat there, and like I have no reason to really doubt Kevin Feige at this point. So I don't know. Like, but yeah, if I could, especially with how Daredevil season 3 ended, kind of wanted to see where it was going. Punisher, like you could kind of say loosely wrapped up in a lot of ways, but he never really got to be full. I feel like even with season 1 and 2, he was never full on Punisher. He was still just dude with gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I'd love to see him come back, but I doubt it's going to happen. But Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, though, also perfect casting. Like of all the castings that Kevin Feige had nothing to do with, they nailed those ones. Like for sure. So, but yeah, what do you guys think? Let us know about all this Hawkeye stuff. Are you excited to see the Hawkeye show? Are you like me? Because my kind of point too with not to say, like I said, I don't dislike Hawkeye or anything like that, so don't misquote me. I just I like them, like Black Widow, Hawkeye, you know, they've all been just really good in like the supporting roles, and I love seeing them in those supporting roles. Not that they can't be in their own show, because they obviously can be in their own show, in their own movie. It's just never been characters I would have been personally super compelled to, like, I don't know, see or make a show of myself. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But what do you guys think about the casting information, and are you excited for the Hawkeye show? Let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So we're gonna I'm combining these two because they're similar in subject matter, not by like genre necessarily, but just it's two shows that began production. That one I wasn't even aware of the start of production, and I guess I really wasn't aware of either of them until I read it. That's kind of a stupid thing to say. So either way. One, the Cassian Andor show was confirmed by Diego Luna that it has begun filming.
That's cool.
I know that's really good, because I think that's been something that's kind of we've been hearing all the news about Obi-Wan and all this stuff and when it's going to happen. Everyone's been talking about Obi-Wan. Obviously, everyone's been talking about Mandalorian because it's just popping off right now. But then, you know, all the news is coming out about who's going to get what spinoff in Mandalorian. Is it Bo-Katan? Is it Ahsoka Tano? Is it Boba Fett? Like, you know, whatever. Like, who knows? Maybe but that's been the talk of the town, and it's like everyone forgot. Like,
it's probably Frog Lady.
Damn it, you're probably
yeah.
That's probably honestly.
Eggs.
We got to see those kids grow up, dude. Yeah. Right. You never know.
Cute little tadpoles.
Yeah, like for sure, it could be. Who else? Who else would be a good one? Who else? Would have been a good. You know who would have been a cool show? What's his name? The guy, he's dead, but the little dude who died in the first season. The little dude.
Quill.
Yeah,
Quill.
Yeah. It would have been cool to see his little adventures on the farm. Just help.
He is spoken.
Then, like, maybe they bring IG-11 back. I always just want to say IG-88.
IG-88, yeah, that's Empire.
I would like to see IG-11 come back. I was real disappointed when they killed him.
I was too.
Yeah.
He became very likable.
Yeah. Taika Waititi, like, come on.
But a cool way to
it was
exit for him.
Yeah, that's true. It was a hero's death.
Yeah, for sure.
But
sacrifice.
But this Cassian show was announced back when Disney Plus was announced, and it's been like the one that's had the least, I don't know, talk and kind of traction on. But they're finally working on it, and oddly enough, like of all the Disney Star Wars stuff to come out, at least prior to Mandalorian, the project that he was a part of, being Rogue One, was arguably the best one. So I don't know. So I don't know. I'm glad that this is moving forward, because this is exploring a time period that, even though it's again just like sticking in a familiar time period, which is annoying, but it's at least with his character in the beginning of Rogue One. I always say like that opening like kind of scene with him was like the first kind of indication that, you know, Star Wars gave us that like the rebels aren't these clean cut just good guy dudes. Like, you know, it was the first indication, you know, the first time on screen we displayed it, like it was a gray area there.
Yeah,
like, you know, it was war. You know, it's
espionage is a dirty business.
Yeah, and so it's like that's compelling, and like Diego Luna played the character very well. And then obviously, Our boy Alan Tudyk is going to be coming back as
K2SO.
So
Yeah.
like that's good because arguably speaking, K2SO is probably one of the best parts about.
Oh yeah, I watched Rogue One today.
Did you?
Yeah, and it's a good movie.
It's great.
Yeah.
Are you excited about the spinoff?
What am I like not excited about? Like a Star Wars.
That's
After
fair.
the Mandalorian, it's like
No,
bring it on.
I'll tell you when. Rise of Skywalker.
Ugh.
Because
What?
you just saw Last Jedi, so there's no way you were excited for Rise of Skywalker.
No. Then you see the movie and you walk out just like,
Yeah. Exactly. The most that's why Rogue One is somehow not like somehow, but I don't know. It's kind of, you would never probably thought that you would say that some Star Wars spin-off was better than like a saga,
yeah.
But John, what do you think about this? Are you excited for it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've established themselves with the Mandalorian as now, and especially now. I mean, the first season wasn't a fluke. They're able to continue that quality and consistency into season 2. So I have plenty of faith that they've realized where to let the reins loose a little bit more and let the creators create something that's unique and special. And so hopefully that'll carry over to this show, which I have some confidence in.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Hopefully, it stays in the vein of that opening scene. I want to see more of that kind of stuff. More
Yeah.
anything. This of all the shows, because like I first thought with like Mandalorian, like we don't need lightsabers in this show. I mean, it doesn't need to have Jedi stuff in it. But then like as it goes on and you see the dark saber and Ahsoka Tano, it's like okay, you can make it work and it all makes sense and it's fine. Yeah, but like it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense in the show. But who knows? Maybe I don't know. Here's the thing: I like Jedi's, I like Siths, I like lightsabers. So if they find a way to make it work, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? But I just want them to explore more of that gray area and the rebel stuff. So more than anything. So, questions, guys? What do you think? Were you like me? And really, I mean, I guess this was news. I don't know why I keep saying like I didn't even know this happened. This news like just broke. So I mean, it is what it is. But what do you guys think about the Cassian Andor show finally being in production? Are you excited to see it? Are you like me and hope that they kind of keep this one, a little bit more close to the vest, focus on the rebel stuff, show a little bit more of, the dirty work they got to do? Because that's what I find most compelling about this. So you let us know down in the comment section below. All right, so our penultimate topic here, before we get into our Mandalorian spoiler review, is another show that has begun production that I've been personally very excited to see happen, because I'll tell you what, it's the oh my god, where am I here? It is the House of Dragon Game of Thrones show. And of course, you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us. I keep hitting that button. The House of Dragon show, the spin-off series of Game of Thrones. And I've been excited for this because not so much because of the show. Like everybody knows that everyone's disappointed with how Game of Thrones ended. All right, everybody knows. But I read all the books. I read the book that this is based off of. I've read all the damn books. So if they stick,
read the books.
I read the books, dude. If they stick to the book this is based off, Fire and Blood, there's some great stuff in there. They're obviously gonna have to expand on it a lot, because if you read the books, you know that it's not like it's not really like about one thing. So like I don't know. I don't want to like get into anything like too specific by any means, but it's good stuff, and I'm looking forward to it because in a way I want it to, for one, I really love the world. I love the world of what, Westeros and all that stuff. It's good stuff. And the books are a lot better than, like, if you thought the show was good, I know everybody who reads the books of any material prior to it and says this, but the books actually are better. There's a lot of stuff in the show that like I was just telling John, like off camera, there's like 3 main storylines in the books, and they're like big deal things that aren't even touched upon in the show. And it's like, you could speculate, does that mean that they just go nowhere in the books? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? But anyway, there's been one casting news for him, and the guy who's going to be playing King Viserys. Oh God. Where did his name go? It's Paddy Considine. And if you remember, what he was just in the show on HBO, The Outsider, and which he was good in that. He was really good in that. But if you're this was a deep cut when I first saw him. He's the cop from the meme. He's in a GIF, the meme GIF of Hot Fuzz. You remember the shitty cops in Hot Fuzz? Like, you don't remember him?
No.
Vaguely.
Like, he was when I first saw him when I was watching The Outsider. If I could recreate the meme, I would. I'll just pull it up the GIF, and then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When I saw him, though, I was just like, "That's that guy." And it's the only other thing I had seen him in at this time, other than The Outsider. And how, like, I don't know. It's probably just because I like memes. So, like, I don't know. But what do you guys think? Did you guys like Game of Thrones, and did you like how it ended? And are you excited to see like anything else in this world come up?
I thought it was all right. It was just a little bit long and hard for me to follow after a while, but I'm sure it'll be successful, knowing with how Game of Thrones did. So
As long as it's good.
Yeah, I'll try and answer your questions in order. Did I like Game of Thrones? I loved Game of Thrones. I loved the first like 4 or 5 seasons of Game of Thrones. Did I like the ending? No, I hated the ending of Game of Thrones. Like so much so that this show sounds amazing to me, and it sounds like what I mean, this show is like, oh my god, you're telling me I'm going to get like knights and armor and fighting, and but then you're also going to give me like multiple dragons. It's not just going to be like dragons every occasionally. Like they're full on, like they have these dragons. These dragons are a part of their lives. It's not just one character that has a few pet ones. Like
Oh yeah, they got him.
this sounds amazing, but I have that bad taste left in my mouth from the way that
season
Game
8.
of Thrones is, yeah, from the
Mhm.
way the Game of Thrones ended, and so we'll see. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not. I'm gonna watch it. I mean, that's just all there is to it. As we've established, I'm gonna have HBO Max, so I'm gonna watch it. Because again, I'll always hope that I can recapture that magic and that glory of the early days of Game of Thrones with this, and then hope for a better ending, I guess. At least this one, the ending is kind of established. You know where the show goes, so there won't be a surprised character that acts completely out of anything that was to be expected going into the series finale. So we'll see.
Here's the thing. That's where she was supposed to go. They just rushed it. That was the problem. It's because to the viewer, the way they portrayed everything, it felt like it was out of left field, but it's not. It's not out of left field. It's just they made it feel like it was out of left field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
You know what I'm saying?
understand. I understand why they did it. I understand the whys. I understand the history there. But again, we've said it before on this show. You know, show me, don't tell me.
No, it's
And
true.
they didn't show that with her.
Not well enough for sure.
She was presented as this. She was presented as the opposite side of the coin of her brother. And if her brother had done it, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Her brother's an asshole. This guy, of course, he would do something like that. But Dany seemed to be the opposite. She was the softer part of the Targaryen line. You know, I don't understand why all the Targaryens had to be bad. Why she had to be bad because she was a Targaryen, or had to have that streak in her. So
Well,
anyway,
her
we're
other
get,
big brother was good. Rhaegar. He was good.
okay.
Jon
Okay. So
Snow.
yeah, Rhaegar was good. Why couldn't she have
Spoiler
been
alert.
hard? You know, why couldn't she have been the middle ground between the two? Why couldn't she have been the hard, you know, queen monarch that is willing to have her dragons burn some people alive for not bending the knee to her, but also doesn't go batshit crazy and burn an entire town because reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And that's what they
anyway,
didn't
that's
showcase. Because like they didn't showcase her descent into madness, if you will. Because like it all kind of started, like they tease it really back on. They show you that she's like really quick to punish, you know, like with her dragons
sure.
especially. But it's always portrayed, like at least the way they did in the show, to where you as a viewer thought she was justified in what she was doing.
Not
Yeah.
only
When
justified, but
like
also that it wasn't like an easy thing for her. That
yeah,
she
exactly.
put some thought into it, and she felt it was her only recourse.
Mhm.
Um.
Yeah,
So
then at the
anyway,
end,
I
it's just
don't
like, no, we're burning everybody. Like,
exactly. I don't want to. I don't want to like. I mean, we can do a special episode where we analyze the ending of Game of Thrones, but I got to take my digs at it where I can because I was so
Oh, I'm with you. I was not happy with how this
snake bitten
either.
by the
Like,
end of
yeah,
that series.
yeah, and I wasn't mad about like the plot and where it went or anything. I was just mad that they shortened the last 2 seasons and like
They rushed
compromised
it.
the show. Like,
Yeah.
because like the Game of Thrones was like my favorite thing to watch every week for years upon years. Like, I don't read books, okay? It's not something I like doing. I've read all the damn books.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really like Game of Thrones. Like, and so I was bummed out too. Here's the gift though. Back to the fun side. So here he is. And this is you see him?
Yeah.
Remember the cops? And
Yeah.
he's right here. Like these dirtbag cops. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just I don't know. Every time I see him, when I first saw him in The Outsider, I literally thought of this because this is like the meme everyone used for like deal with it, you know. And then it's just like,
Yeah.
that's the one. So, but he was really good in Outsider, so I am excited to see him like actually play like, you know, like I saw him in Hot Fuzz where it's just like this, you know, comedy spoof kind of thing, and then he's in Outsider playing like a very dramatic role, and he did like a really good job. So like I'm stoked to see him come up and be, you know, King Viserys. So like it's all good. I'm excited for it. I definitely am. The Targaryens are like arguably the coolest part about Game of Thrones, and like the time where, like you said, where there's a lot of dragons and everything and stuff. That's obviously like really compelling. Because I mean, that's just you want your high fantasy stuff. Like that's pretty much, you know, swords and dragons is like, you know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So, but question is, guys, what do you think about this? Are you excited for the new Game of Thrones spin-off series coming out here? Are you excited for the casting information? Let us know down in the comments. Or actually, too, let us know, were you also disappointed with the ending of Game of Thrones? Or did you like it? Did you see it coming? Did you know it was coming? Or are you like me, where you kind of knew it was coming, but it was like super rushed and it compromises the whole like show and it just ruins your viewing experience knowing that that's where you go? Because that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, I love it, but I hate it. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. So let us know down in the comment section below. All right, everybody. Now we are going to get into our Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 6, The Tragedy spoiler review. So this is your warning if you somehow haven't watched it yet or still avoiding spoilers and all that jazz. This is it. This is a spoiler discussion. First, though, I did want to get into one quick topic. One quick thing I wanted to go over and share with the boys here. All right, and we talked about this a little bit before, but I want to bring it up again and share it with you guys. I want Rik and Jon to comment on this. We had a topic, well, I think it was last week, about the Godzilla versus Kong movie. Okay, and there was some other. I saw this right after we did the video. Right after there was concept art for this Godzilla thing. Okay, I need to share this with everybody. There was literally, this was concept art for Godzilla versus Kong. I'm not making this shit up. All right, they made a Kong Godzilla hybrid. All right, look at this thing. Look at this atrocity. And Rik, these are scales, dude, not fur. Look at this thing. What do you think about this? Like,
I think it's hideous.
if this ends up in that movie, dude, if this is what they do at the end of this movie, I mean, it's like, could they ruin this franchise any further?
It's asinine.
Like, why would they even make this?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's so low effort, too. Like, in all honesty, like, it's so low effort. Like, it's Kong with a lizard tail.
Yeah,
You know what I
really,
mean?
in scales.
Like, I hope this was for, like,
A joke.
I don't even know. It's just a little bit ridiculous, though. And it's for like a toy. Like, I believe this article kind of goes on to suggest that this is like literally made for like a toy for the movie, which we know, man, those toys like to spoil things in the movie. Like, if this is how this franchise ends, I'm gonna be disappointed. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm already disappointed in it to begin with. Okay, so this, not like this, like Switch in the Matrix. Okay, not like this, not like this. Okay. You guys got anything? I just wanted to share that. If anybody out in the world, I wanted to give you the privilege of saying this. You guys got any thoughts on this thing?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Don't like it.
No.
I don't think anybody likes it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I just watched the Godzilla King of.
No, we lost you, John. Can you hear me? It's so bad it broke John's camera. Okay? Think about that. All right? While we get John back, we're just going to move on and we're going to go into our Mandalorian Season 2 spoiler review. So, guys, let us know what you guys think of this atrocity. This atrocity. If this makes it into this Kong versus Godzilla movie, I swear to God. Well, I mean, like I said, they already kind of like, it's not a dumpster fire, but in a lot of ways, they kind of already ruined the franchise anyway. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's time for a reboot. Who knows? We'll see. So let us know what you guys think of this Kongzilla down in the comment section below. All right, so with the special treat of Kongzilla out of the way, we're going to get into the Mandalorian spoiler review now. So, first off the top, guys, what did you think about? I'm going to jump right into it. What did you think about Boba Fett and his old return here, and us actually seeing him in action pretty much for the first time ever?
Thought it was badass.
Yeah,
it was definitely gave him. It lived up to like the hype that you've always heard about Boba Fett being badass. Now you finally got to like see it.
Great description. Yeah,
I 100% agree. Because I told Rick when we were streaming the other night, like as someone who has always said Boba Fett is not a good character because he did nothing, right? Like he just looked cool. I don't need to keep getting into it, but he's this character. Everybody liked him. I totally get why, because he looks cool. But like ever since the original trilogy, we've had so many Mandalorians introduced, and we actually got to see them do like really cool stuff.
Kind of broke the hype for.
Yeah, but now that we actually got to see him in action, he's cool. Like I'm not gonna say he's the coolest Mandalorian ever, but it was good.
He kicked some ass.
They did him justice.
Yeah.
They did him justice, you know. So, what did you think about him?
Yeah, I thought he was very cool. My one fear was, I mean, last night's episode could have just been an episode of the Boba Fett show. I mean, as much screen time and as much of the heavy lifting as he got to do. I mean, Mando was knocked out for, I felt like, part of the episode, and they focused a lot on Boba Fett. So I hope, I'm jumping way ahead into big spoilers, but I hope going forward that the show's focus stays on Mando and the child, and Boba Fett's involvement, while significant, doesn't take over the show.
I think it'll obviously. I mean, the way it ends now that not Mando, but Boba's going to be helping Mando.
Hopefully,
it'll probably end. I don't know. I think he'll be by his side, but they'll part ways afterward. Like it'll wrap everything up. The thing that I find kind of interesting, actually, I didn't really think about before. But they took Baby Yoda. They got Grogu.
Yeah,
and like they're going to go get him back now. And if they get him back, presumably, like that's it. That would wrap up that story. They're just gonna keep drawing it out, like now they're back after him, and like what I mean.
Maybe they end up being really good buds. I don't know.
What?
Maybe they end up being like really good buds.
Who?
Boba Fett and Mando.
Boba, yeah.
Oh, maybe, but I mean, just like with Mando, like the story of the season, like these first 2 seasons have been about like keeping Grogu safe from the Empire, and like they might be like they've just put themselves in the position to like pretty much wrap that up. Which I find to be
I mean, it's going to be a pretty difficult task, I feel like, though, at the same time, so.
Is it, though?
I guess.
I mean, the Empire gets beat every single time.
It's true.
They haven't won. Like,
never thought about it that way. They got a pretty bad losing record.
Yeah, this is true. I'll tell you what, I want to say there's a couple things that, like, they obviously, like, showed Boba Fett wrecking shop with his gaffy stick, which was good stuff. But there were some things I'm gonna go through a list of things that I had problems with.
And before you jump into that, I had a biggest smile on my face during that scene that you got up on screen there after, because he says right before they jump to that, he says we're gonna have to go the rest of the way with the windows down. And I thought, what in the
windows go down?
Talking about, like, well, yeah, I was like, obviously they don't go down, but what is that? Some sort of landing terminology I'm just not familiar with. And then I realized the next thing it's because of all the wind in their hair and stuff. What a great line! That very impressed by that line and that next scene.
Oh yeah, and to your point too about it being the Boba Fett show, I wouldn't be surprised that like this episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez. I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Rodriguez, if they do make the Boba Fett spinoff, if Robert just directs like that whole series, just based on like I don't know everything we saw.
Yeah.
Like I'd be on board with it if like that's what we get out of a whole series of Boba Fett with Robert Rodriguez at the helm.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Like I'm looking for that. Like,
you could look back, and this could almost be like a backdoor pilot into his Boba Fett series.
yeah,
for sure.
But anyway, let's get into. I'm gonna go through this one. When they get here and they do the thing, right, and then so Baby Yoda starts doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
His little thing. He's like, I don't even his force,
meditation.
Yeah, it's like a
dude. He had the whole.
Yeah,
he was so chill. Like,
it wasn't just like making a force call. Like, dude was like generating a force field. Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Like, so we got to see some like some pretty intense force powers. I mean, it's the most intense force power we've seen on the show.
Yeah.
Like really. And honestly, too, like this is one thing that I always kind of wish Star Wars would do was like, because back in the day, and like, it was understandable, like back in the original trilogy, due to like special effects limitations and everything. But ever since The Force Unleashed came out, if you remember those video games, I was always kind of hoping, yeah, they were fun. In those games, when you use the Force power, like you saw it and like you felt the impact. Like when Starkiller did a Force push, like it distorted the wavelengths around like you, which is just like boom, you know, you can feel the impact of it. And obviously back like in the original trilogy and everything, there were limitations there, so they just made it a force in the kind of top out for not having anything was saying that it was like an invisible force field around us all and blah 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 blah. But I was always hoping that when special effects got like better, like now times, that they actually gave some like show it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at least
give it some, make it look more intense.
Yeah, like if someone does a force push, like all the games do it. Literally, even the Old Republic did it. Especially if you watch like the cinematic trailers for it, like when the Jedi girl with the double bladed lightsaber does the force push to Malgus against the freaking rock, like it's you see it. And I always just wish they would do that. You know what I mean? Like just make it happen. Like it's just cooler. And like they started doing it, like obviously with this, like if this was in the original trilogy, you wouldn't see this; it'd be invisible.
Yeah, he'd just be quietly sitting there,
and it kind of loses its impact. Like I feel like this is just like a lot better. So I really hope they start doing this shit forward. I mean, I like the idea, and I like when this is like invisible, but at the same time, I don't know. I'd like a little bit of wave distortion. Anyway, while this is all going on, our boy Boba Fett ends up showing up here, right? So he's sitting here, he's still doing his thing. I got this because I like his little fingers, man. He's still like the cutest little thing in the world, dude.
Oh yeah, he's adorable.
So good. So our boy Boba Fett shows up here, and he has him. This is one thing I took issue with. Stupid thing, but I gotta get into it. He's like, take the jetpack down, and we'll take the gun down, or whatever, and like blah blah blah. So then like the fighting ensues, and all this stuff goes on, and the stormtroopers show up, and like so the jetpack's there on the ground, and then Mando decides to just run up the hill. Up to Baby Yoda, just leaves his jetpack there, and it's like it would have taken you like 5 minutes to run up the hill. It would have taken you all of 3 seconds to put the jetpack on and fly up. The hill. So it's like he conveniently leaves the jetpack just so the dark troopers can fly away with him without him fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that kind of stupid convenience shit.
It like, really was like perfectly convenient.
They literally had to write that in, this scene in. Like, you put the jetpack down. Like, it's just written in just to serve a supply at the end of it for literally no fucking reason. Like, sorry, but it was annoying. Because, like, literally, the jetpack is right here. And he's like, no, I'm just going to run up the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of idiot would do that? You know what I mean? It's a little bit out of character. Because it's, like, it's stupid. So then, on top of that stupidity, he had to conveniently leave the door to his ship open so Boba Fett could just walk in and get his armor.
They don't mention anything else after that.
Like, literally, they show the ship, and the door's just open. He wouldn't do that. He's got his shit robbed multiple times at this point. He's not just leaving the door to his ship open.
True, but he thought they were just, it's like,
no, he wouldn't have done it.
It's like when you're running the convenience store and you're just going to pop in and buy a pack of gum or something. Like
you leave your door open?
you might not lock your door. You might not, you might not.
But he left it open.
I don't mind running
It
sometimes if
could
it's
be
in view.
unlocked and closed. This is like
I
you
mean-
jumped out of your car with the door wide open and ran into the gas station. That's what he did.
I mean,
And he wasn't just
what-
inside. He was up a mountain.
What time of day is it?
Yeah, is it a good
It's
town? Like,
convenient. It's stupid convenient, so he could just walk in and get his armor back. There's no way around it. There's no
Yeah.
way around it. Then when they're up there perched, the stormtroopers do show up and they're up there perched on the hill. They all come out of the cargo door, and it's a kill. None of them should have survived, dude. It's a kill box. Like they're at a choke point, and our dudes have the high ground.
They have the high ground.
Wars. Like
you got the high ground, you won.
You win if you have the high ground. And there's just no way. All of those stormtroopers would have died. If this was a real life scenario, in any scenario, even a video game, you win that fight.
Yeah.
All of the people coming out of that doorway are dead. That's how it works. So I thought that was stupid. And these are just obviously nitpicks. I just didn't like the direction with it.
And it's odd too, because some of these things are easy fixes. So you wonder like what the thinking is going into. Like somebody watch this and go, are they honestly
That's
just
what
not
it is.
picking up? Are they honestly just, do they not care? Are they just not picking up on in production? Like, do they feel like the visual of them running out the door is necessary to that scene? Because you just turn the ship the other way. You have them come out the backside of the ship and
dude, that's all they needed to do.
Yeah,
Or-
use the ship for cover.
And as far as like Mando and the jetpack and Boba Fett, these episodes are not full hour long episodes anyway. We've talked about how sometimes they're on the shorter side, and this one felt kind of middle
did
of the
feel
road.
short.
It wasn't real short, but it also wasn't one of the
I
long.
think it was like 31 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, they could have added an extra scene or two where for maybe whatever reason, it's Ming, I can't remember the actress's name. Ming Na, whatever her character, she could have been, Boba could have said to Mando, look, we're going to go get my armor. She's going to stay here with the kid. And that gives them an excuse to get the armor. Maybe something he tells Boba, look, I don't, until I have all the armor or everything I need for the armor, maybe Boba can lock the armor's, abilities somehow because he has control of it or something. Like until everything's square between them, maybe Mando has to leave his jetpack on. I just feel like there's something they could have done. You're right, to make it so not so much of what a dumb move by Mando. Make him look like an idiot.
Oh, yeah. They could have even just had it to where the ship started firing at their position, so he didn't have time to grab it and just ran uphill.
Sure. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Another good point. Yeah.
Like, I mean, something other than, you know what? I'm just gonna hoof it up the mountain.
Yeah.
It's like he wouldn't do that. Like he definitely just wouldn't do it. And then the next one just it was more just kind of a funny thought more so than anything. But he needs to get this breastplate resized.
Yeah, maybe it's the robe underneath, but yeah,
he grew without getting the armor resized. You remember Game of Thrones when Robert needed the breastplate stretcher? Like that's the same concept here, man. Like
yeah,
you don't need to get that resized. Make a visit to the armorer.
Look, the older you get, your metabolism slows down a little bit. Things don't. It's a little tougher to maintain the figure.
Looks better than Cobb Vanth. He looked awkward as hell with you.
Well, he was just too tall for it.
Yeah, he just
was
looked
too
awkward,
tall and lanky.
Like, that
He's just a little too
thick,
a little round. He's been drinking too much blue milk.
Yeah,
Too
much spotchka.
Too much of those blue milk cookies. Those blue milk macaroons.
He's got a sweet tooth.
Too much of those. And then another thing, when he went and got the armor, when and why would Mando have restocked the missile in Boba's jetpack?
Because Cobb Vanth used it.
Convenient thing for him to use.
I got you on this one. All right, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here. We've seen Mando's. We've seen. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the ship.
Razor Crest.
Razor Crest. Thank you. We've seen the Razor Crest has an armory on it, a pretty substantial armory. So my thinking is like Boba has that missile available, and Boba's kind of the always be prepared type individual. Like he's prepared for a
Maybe
lot
he
of different
brought one with him.
scenarios. So
Oh, so you
yeah,
think
so he
Boba had one on his ship?
exactly. So I think his
Okay.
armory comes stocked with a missile, and so at least one, maybe probably multiples, and they're probably Mandalorian armor's probably hot swap. You can switch parts in and out. So he probably had a missile that worked in it because it's Mandalorian
This
armor
is a
based. And
crude armor, though, man. This was his dad's, man, back in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's pretty dated
yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
So I don't. That might be a pretty like.
His visors hold up well, though.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the rest of the armor did. All right. Well, the paint job at least. But
Yeah.
I'll buy that one. I'll give you that one. No, I will give it. I'll give you that one.
Okay, I appreciate
Because like
that.
I'm left to assume like he just shows up with the missile in the jetpack. So I'm
Sure.
like they never show him go to his ship and like yeah that's plausible. So I'll buy it. I'll accept that as an answer. And then the other one was when the dark troopers actually come down, right? They are like flying out of that ship like a bat out of hell, dude. They are quick.
They are.
Then they land and they turn into C-3PO.
Like slower.
Yeah.
C-3PO could walk circles around those
Yeah,
dudes.
I'm like,
And they're all synchronized. It looks like they're doing a dance together or something.
Yeah, what was that about? And then also like why does the Empire have to be so like edgy? Like dark troopers, death
Yeah.
troopers, like
Red eyes.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. That was just the walking thing was annoying though, because then they're like walking super duper slow. Like honestly, Mando would have had enough time to run up the hill without his jetpack and still be fine. Because like, goddamn, they move so slow. But then again, they just launch off the ground at fucking light speed again. And it's like, how are you walking so slow if you
Really?
can literally fly that fast? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Then, as that's happening, Boba gets into the Slave One and flies up there and gets literally like could throw a rock at the Imperial cruiser. Like, why did the Imperial cruiser let that thing get
Probably
anywhere
the
near?
cloaking abilities of the Slave One.
But like I said, man, they could just look out the window and see it.
But a cloaking
It's right
ability,
there.
you wouldn't see it with the cloaking ability. Like, I think there's literally, he's got some sort of defense on there that basically
No,
renders his ship invisible.
It couldn't be like something like making it invisible to the naked eye because they would have showed us the viewer that
But
yeah.
they would have made it go
the ship
invisible.
the ship was coming from underneath. So let's I mean you could kind of maybe guess that they don't have whatever the word, they don't have windows on the bottom of their Imperial ship. They've got windows on the bridge, but
Well, they
that's
have
kind of
proximity detection though.
well, and that's where the cloaking would come in. So like if it's got radar cloaking or something like that, maybe there's a scenario where they don't know he's coming at them or he's tracking with them up to the bottom of the ship.
Well,
True.
my other caveat with that is like I can let that's a loose one. That's a loose one.
Okay.
But he didn't shoot a tracking beacon at it. He was that close to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's more the big one. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
how'd they
that
let
we
him get
know
that
of.
close?
That
Yeah,
we know
but-
of. That could be the Deus Ex
That's some
Machina.
information you tell Mando at the end, like, don't worry, my dude. I put a tracker on him. We're gonna go
Sure.
get the kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
like
Sure.
we're gonna help you get him because we owe you one, even though I stole the armor from your ship before it got blown up. You didn't actually give it to me.
And then he
So I
doesn't
don't
mention
actually
anything
do
else
anything.
about that after.
Yeah, that's
Not
right.
like, dude, that's my armor. Like, you know,
Right. Like,
he's just like, oh, he's wearing it now. Okay.
and so that was pretty much it. Other than the fact that, yeah, the whole Mando never made that deal.
No.
Well, the deal was never made. He just
That
went
we
and
saw.
took it.
There was yeah.
No, because at the end he has still had to justify. Like he pulled up the little ancestral chart there and was like, "Look, see, this is my dad." Like, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, now you're good."
The armor does belong to
Yeah.
you, yeah.
Yeah. So like he didn't know. Like he didn't give it to him. He just went and so he didn't owe him shit. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have to stay there and help get that kid back at all, technically speaking. But then
Broba Fett. He's being a bro.
he is being a bro with that. That's fine. But like obviously we were gonna get that the team up was gonna happen regardless. So I mean that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. These are just the classic. These are the things I hate most about movies. Like when you have these just stupid, convenient things that just are only there for movie plot reasons. So it's like things that you would never ever do or come across in real life, but have to happen because you wrote the script and we don't have time to make changes or we're just too lazy to do it.
Yeah.
Like one of the
Yeah.
two. And then in the end though, with old Moff Gideon and Grogu, and he shows him the dark saber. You think Grogu had a or a lightsaber? Because like Grogu like knew what was up and like reached for it.
It's
So
possible.
I was wondering if like maybe Moff Gideon because they had him before. So I'm wondering if maybe they actually have his lightsaber, and at the end we're gonna see little Grogu whoop some ass with a little
Like Yoda and
yeah,
what?
exactly.
Attack of the
Like
Clones?
jump around all fucking crazy,
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. He seemed to know what was up with the lightsaber. He reached
did.
for it.
He did.
So I don't know.
We'll just have to
So
see
I
how it
asked Rick
goes.
the same thing. What color do you think his lightsaber would be if he had one?
Orange.
Orange?
I think that's
Yeah,
what
I'm
I
gonna
said.
go orange.
I just
Because-
assumed that they would go classic green because of Yoda, but
Yeah.
I hope not. They separated a little bit, but that's just kind of what I assumed. I could also see though, because he was a Padawan, it would probably be blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go by that. But they also too, I guess one little
Was-
fun note
was
is that
he-
they technically broke canon or they retconned Django, because I guess for the longest time Django was never actually supposed to be a Mandalorian. And now they like officially made him a foundling.
Foundling. Yeah. Do we think Grogu was a Padawan, or do we think he was just a youngling that was just being trained? Because
I think
isn't
it
there
was just a youngling.
There is a difference. The youngling is they're just not of age yet to be a Padawan
Sure.
training. So
Yeah.
they could have been. Did
mean,
they say
he can't even
explicitly if
speak
he
yet.
was a group? Did Ahsoka say? I can't remember.
I think
Because I
she
think
just
she
said he
said
was.
either
I think
one
she
of the
just
two.
said he was there being on Coruscant being trained.
I don't
Yeah, it
remember
was
if she said
very.
trained with younglings or with.
I don't think she said that.
Padawans. I don't know what she.
I
I think
think
she
she
just said he was
specified.
training there.
just trained in Django.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume younglings, but it's so hard to say because he's like 50 fucking years old. Like, I don't know what that means because he's obviously super strong with the Force. So, like, you would imagine that, like, he wouldn't just be sitting there with all, like, broom kid level sensitive people, Like, this
Sure.
dude created a force field that was blowing people back,
Yeah. Well, it's obvious that species has a very strong attunement with the Force.
Yeah.
Um,
So, you got to
it-
think Yoda had some involvement in his training.
Did you guys? Do you guys get a vibe that they're really playing up the Baby Yoda being torn between the dark and the light side? That he's not, he's definitely
I don't think
poised.
so.
He definitely really.
I
I
don't.
felt
I don't
like
get that.
I felt like the whole scene with him toying with the stormtroopers and
Oh, no,
force
yeah, I know what you're saying.
force choking them was a tad over what you would expect from
Yeah.
a full light side user to be doing. Now the full
Yeah,
light side
I
user would
agree.
have knocked him out, but Baby Yoda being younger, it's like a young kid with when they're learning to express their physicality, they'll hit or punch sometimes. It's not necessarily that they're doing it because of they're hostile or they're doing it. It's just they're exploring the different aspects of how to their physicality, and the same goes with Baby. He's going to explore some of the darker side ideas of the Force. I think that I don't know. It was just
Luke's-
interesting. To
Our
me.
boy Luke Skywalker force chokes and fools, all right? Just saying.
Yeah.
He did in Jedi, yeah. He
Oh,
force
you're
choked
right. You're right. He did.
The gore, what are pig dudes, whatever their name are.
Gamorrean guard.
Yeah.
You're right.
Gamorrean.
Gamorrean.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Good
Yeah.
pull. Wow.
And it squealed like a pig.
So, they did. But yeah, like I think they were. I almost feel like they only added that in there just because of what Ahsoka was saying. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I don't
Okay.
think that they're actually like gonna have that happen.
No.
Like, not go like dark side, but I don't think that's actually gonna be like. I think it's more in line with like what you were kind of getting at, to where he's just a kid in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
and just he was put in the room, he's felt like he was being attacked, so he's just doing whatever he possibly could think of doing. Granted, it was kind of going pretty far with it. He was throwing them around the room repeatedly and then ending with a force choke, as opposed to just leading with a force choke like Luke did.
Sure.
Luke just is like, goodbye. He's like, I'm gonna throw you around the room, then I'm gonna choke you.
Yeah.
Which is it's a little bit more sadistic, but at the same time, he is just a kid, so I don't know. But I just don't see little dude being like, you see him putting on a Sith robe or something?
No, not at all.
Like, I think he'd get the Beskar armor before he'd get a Sith robe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who's to say that? It'd be interesting to see though. Because you imagine having like a 10 season story go on to where like Grogu's the bad guy at the end. You know what I mean? Honestly, that'd be pretty cool.
I don't see that.
Dude, that'd be pretty cool. It happened with Anakin.
Yeah.
It's just we saw it in a non-linear order, but that's exactly what happened with Anakin.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why Ahsoka said it. So, but I don't know. In the end, I think it was just kind of thrown in there to kind of more service that, like what Ahsoka was kind of getting at, I mean, who knows? Because like I said too, since they're at where they're at now, like I feel like they're in a position where they could wrap up this whole thing, like the Darksaber, all that stuff. Like, because otherwise, that's kind of where we can like leave this off. Is like, where do you think this is going to be going now? Because we only have 2 episodes left, right? 7 and 8.
How many more seasons?
Well, the thing is, though, are they going to keep doing the song and dance, like rinse, repeat? Oh, Moff Gideon's after him again. Like, what I mean? Is this Scooby-Doo? Is this, what is it? Like, because you think they'd have to kind of wrap this stuff up in some way. And it seems like if they already got him, like, I figured they'd draw it out even longer than, like, oh, nope, they got him. Like, I figured we'd learn more about Grogu, like, then it would happen later, like middle of next season or end of next season. And because it's so short, you know what I mean? You gotta think, these are only half-hour episodes, 8 episodes, only 4 hours worth of content. Normal show would be like 10, 13, 20 episodes of hour-long stuff. So like this has all happened very quick. You know what I mean? That's why I just didn't expect it to like get to this point already.
Yeah. Seriously.
Well, I could see them wrapping up the Moff Gideon aspect of this show this season, possibly still. But you got to figure there's something going on with Grogu and that rock, and he made contact with something, whether or not it's another Jedi, whether or not it's. So I think that is very much an establishing segment for what's coming in season, 3 and maybe the future of the show. So I don't think, I mean, we could see. I think we were all led to believe that it was Order 66, right? That wiped out the Jedi. I think we were all led to believe that Obi-Wan and Yoda were the only 2 that survived. But clearly, with Ahsoka still out there, even though she doesn't identify with the Jedi, I think it's entirely plausible with the thousands of Jedi that were out there. There are a handful that maybe don't practice.
That's what I would think.
And so I think we might see some of them come back into the show. And that opens up some other doors for how to progress the show and where they're going to go with it.
What if a Sith Lord heard the call?
Also possible.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
so.
but at the time we're talking about the Sith. I mean, if the Sith are truly following the rule of 2, you've got Anakin and Palpatine, right? Is my time frame right there?
No, this is after Anakin's dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
This is after Jedi. So okay,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, right. So this is after Jedi. So you've got Palpatine and his clone shenanigans going on, and you've got you do have that void there with Kylo Ren probably not being.
He's like 5 or 6 years old during the Mandalorian, apparently.
Well, they kind of threw the Rule 2 away in Rise of Skywalker. They had the whole army of Sith acolytes there. You remember at the end of it?
Yeah, but they weren't really like.
But they're Sith.
Yeah, but they're just dudes in robes.
The Knights
Sith.
of Ren, or
no, all the people in the giant stadium, the Star Wars Thunderdome.
Yeah, the Sith
Oh,
acolytes.
were those real people?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
all people in
Sith
robes.
acolytes.
Sith
See, like I've
loyalists
only
was the
seen it the one
term.
time, and I kind of thought that they were
What
like
are
the
they? What did you say,
Force
Rick?
Ghost.
In the actual description, they're considered Sith loyalists.
Yeah, Sith loyalists.
Okay.
But that's not to say though
Like
that they're not like with the rule of two. It's just like the two that are in like main power, but there can be multiple ones. There's just a master and apprentice. That's it. Like there could be 10,000 of them. It's just there's not like the Jedi have like the Jedi Council. They work together and do their thing. The Sith rule of two is just two people,
Yeah.
but not like there's only two Sith. There's many Sith.
Mhm.
There could be more out there.
Really?
You had Dooku,
Okay.
you had Darth Maul, you had what's his name all there in one movie. Like yeah, they're all
Yeah,
there.
I thought well, see, I thought
Palpatine.
Darth Maul's led to Dooku being the apprentice. I thought there were always only the two. I thought there was Palpatine and Darth Maul. Darth Maul dies, then he brings Dooku in. Dooku dies, then he brings Anakin in. But
No,
that's
Dooku
not.
had been working with them the whole time though.
Yeah.
That was like behind their back. Because like Maul was like betrayed by. You learned this in the Clone Wars, I think, but like Maul was like betrayed and was going to be killed because he was going to take on Anakin, but then Dooku was already there.
So Palpatine wasn't the only Sith Lord during all that time.
No,
There were
technically
others.
speaking, no. He was like
There were other.
there were other Sith out there.
Yeah.
It's just Palpatine was the master taking on first. Like he had Dooku and Maul essentially.
It's no
at the same
different than a
time.
Jedi Padawan and
Yeah,
a master.
just-
It's just two dudes hanging out with each other.
Yeah, pretty much like two. You got
Just
two
two
brothers.
dudes.
Two brothers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's different
they
groups
don't-
of dudes.
Yeah, but they don't share the power with like a third.
No.
That's why if they do, the apprentice is supposed to kill the master and then get an apprentice themselves in Sith tradition, and that's it. So if the
that changes my whole understanding of the entire saga then. Because I was always under the impression that the rule of two meant that there were literally two Sith in the entire galaxy. There was the Master and the Apprentice, and those are the only two Sith.
No.
And so the idea of balance of the Force was always didn't make sense to me because you've only got two Sith, but you've got these thousands of Jedi. And so
right, it's why it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting.
It's just that because that's the thing when you start to look at because that's like that is kind of how they like loosely say it, and it doesn't really make any sense. But then you just sit there and look at the prequels though, and like Maul existed around the same time as Dooku, and then like Anakin was like being under tutelage of like hadn't fully gone yet, but like Maul's still there and got like betrayed by Sidious. Sidious goes to kill Maul because he's going to take Anakin on as his apprentice, and it's like, you know, this whole big thing. But like Dooku is there too already, like working with them, like he was Darth Tyrannus, like, you know. Like,
I don't think any Sith are going to hear this call. I think it's going to be Jedi.
yeah, it's probably going to be Jedi, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'd like some Sith stuff to happen. If we got Jedi stuff happening, we should have Sith stuff happening.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Because then also you can also have people like Ahsoka who are like just gray, you know, not a Jedi, but she's not a Sith. You could have other people out there who are just Force sensitive and heard the call, and maybe have a lightsaber. Who knows?
Yeah.
What are they doing with obviously Baby Yoda is the donor of M-Count. But who's he donating to? Where are they doing with his donations?
I just imagine they're trying to bring Palpy back.
Yeah, they just need powerful M counts from creatures to bring him back. Yeah,
like I don't know if it's necessarily.
You think it's tied to that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not for Moff Gideon himself.
Well, that's what I was wondering because just the way that Gideon is so. Something came off, especially at the end of the episode when he was almost taunting him with the dark blade. I almost felt like he's envious of this child. He's trying to get what this child has, and he's trying to you know show him that he thinks he's just as deserving because hey, look, I've got a dark blade, you don't. So now all I need is your powers. So I don't know.
I would
Okay.
initially go with like he wants to be able to somehow like absorb midichlorians into himself in some way. I could see that being a thing if they didn't go to that cloning facility. Unless they're just using clones as the test subjects. I guess. That'd be the only
Okay.
way I could see that being like feasible. Or that would make any sense. Because like the cloning facility makes me think that they're trying to either bring back Palpatine or it's for Snoke. Because I don't know. I don't want it to be Snoke because I don't want to like have to deal with
Tie
anything
into
tying
that.
it. Yeah, but at the same time, if they're able to expand upon the sequel trilogy, kind of like they did with the prequel trilogy and like Clone Wars and Rebels and kind of thing, like maybe it'll make it better. Like you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like maybe like, I don't know, but at the same time, like as far as the timeline goes, it does make sense that it would be Palpatine or Snoke related, unfortunately.
Guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, we'll just have to kind of see because, like, otherwise, yeah, like that's the only other thing I could think of is they're trying to do something to where like Moff Gideon can become like he's trying to like, if Palpatine's dead, he's trying to fill the void and wants to be more than just a Moff, right? Maybe he wants to be the new Emperor himself and knows that he needs to be force sensitive and like
Yeah.
lust for power kind of thing. He's like, I got one thing, I got the dark blade, but I don't have force powers, so I'm just a dude with a sword.
Really.
So I need some midichlorians up in me. So I don't know. That makes sense. I don't know. I don't know which I'd rather it be at this point though. So what would you rather it be? Would you rather it be something tied with Palpy or no?
Me?
Yeah, you and John. You weren't even
I
the two
I don't
people.
even know what to speculate at this point. I mean, it's just gonna. It's surprised me enough already watching this show, different things, so it could be completely different than what we're thinking. I don't know. We're just gonna have to, like I said, kind of wait and tune in and see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, you guys got anything else you want to add?
I think we touched upon everything I had thought about.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you. We will wrap it up. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. Of course, like always, don't forget you can submit topics, questions to the show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. What else we got here, Rick? Where can everybody follow you online? That's
Follow me on Instagram, Surik Metz. You can read it right down there. RIKMETZ.
John, what about you? Where can everybody follow you online?
Over on the Twitters at Nightwing_J.
There you go. You can follow me just simply at Sir Rob Bifo. Look out, I'll be playing some more Demon Souls, probably some Shadowlands here and there. Probably, I don't know when, but probably sometime here soon. But probably Friday for sure. So look out for that Friday show. Is gonna be up Monday, obviously, like always. So that's pretty much it. Don't forget like and subscribe. Follow, do all the good stuff. Look out for the stream. You do all that stuff. Like, share, do your thing. Do your thing. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching again. Take care.